Boom, welcome to the offensive. And look, it's different. You're used to Derek and Chief Greengrass, but instead we have the man, the myth, the legend, Matt Ramage in the house. Let's go.
What is up, Mr. Dog Hype? You know, I came here just to get hype. It's in your name.
Dude, I'm so pumped. Like, how long has it been we've been playing in this show? I don't know, years, decades, whatever. I've come on your show a couple times, 3-4 times, whatever, hang out with like you, Vinny. Shout out to Vinny, who's been super cool. He's pumping out the tweets and the links and everything. We're going to watch the comments in the comment section here. I hope everybody like just tries to like take us out in the comments, right? We did a watch party yesterday for the Brew Crew, who won again today, which was really dope.
Yeah, we're getting after it.
We found out that Ramage is a great play-by-play commentator. You know,
you should have already known. You know, you should have been watching.
You can put that like on your resume. You know what I'm saying? Like you can go to the Brew Crew and be like, "Hey, I know Euchre's passed away. It's sad, but here's
dude, I should do that. Like if I ever look for a different job, be like, past job, cheese factory worker, also play-by-play on YouTube."
Yes. But you know, that's the future is YouTube. Everybody's trying to figure out how to get traction on YouTube. So
yeah,
it could be good.
Figure that out too.
Okay, we're gonna do some cool stuff. We'll go over like Packers things. We'll do a Packers quiz.
Yeah.
But first though, I want to like ask you a couple questions about yourself. When did you start becoming a Packer fan? Like, do you remember? Like when you were a child? Like what was the beginning of your love for the Packers?
I think like in my family, like you didn't have a choice. Like my next door neighbor, like when I was like 12 or whatever, was a Bears fan. He was my best friend. His name was Chuck. You know? And he was a Bears fan, but like he wasn't allowed in our house like on Sundays because the Bears were good then. You know, I was born in '79, so this is like after all that, whatever. But like my uncles, my cousins, like my house was like the spot, and he just come over like a Bears hat on or whatever, and they're like, "Get this kid the hell out of here! I'm gonna punt him." You know what I mean?
Punt him out of the house.
And back in those days, you could hit other people's kids. You know, it was
yeah. You could just like kick him right out of the house.
No, but like it was always huge. Like in my childhood, Packers, and like my uncle had a basement that was like painted like all Packers, like the goal line. You know, everyone has like the man caves now, but like this was like one back in the 80s. It was just painted like the field. It was like the walls were like all the fans cheering or whatnot.
Yeah, it was like a proper man cave.
Yeah, it was just a really good man cave. But yeah, I just grew up being a Packer fan. Like it wasn't a choice. Everyone was a Packer fan. If you even like tried to like get creative and be like, no, I'm gonna be a Falcons fan, like they would beat you down. And I'm not talking about your friends. I'm talking about your like uncles and your mom. You know what I mean? Like it would have got it wasn't an option. You were a Packer fan.
It was just like in your blood from day one.
Yeah. It's like you're like born into it. This is like
it's almost like Bloods and Crips, right? Like
you just are street gang, bro.
Yeah.
Lots of locals. You know what I mean?
Eddie's in the comments says today is the day. That's right. It's just like Snoop Dogg being in the Crips. It's like Matt Ramage is like in the Green Bay. You know, green is a color. Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, it's like you didn't have to like do the whole mafia thing, like burn a picture of the Virgin Mary on your hand, and you didn't have to do
like that. The tear.
Yeah, I love the mafia movies. You know what I mean? I know how all that goes down, but we didn't have to do all that. Your mom saw you even thinking about like my son one time was like a Washington fan, and like he had a Washington hat, and like his coach, I'd drop him off like practice. He was like 3rd, 4th grade or whatever. He liked RG3, you know. So then his coach would look at me and like be like, "Dude, what are you doing over there?" Like, you know what I mean? This kid's over here. I'm like, I throw this hat away. He freaks out. You know what I mean? He finds this thing. Like I'm trying to do my part. It's embarrassing. If you're a dad growing up in Wisconsin and your kid starts rocking another team's hat, all the coaches, everyone's looking at you weird. They're like, hey, what's going on?
They're like, are you even from here?
Get your house in order, bro.
Yeah, dude. They're like, are you even from here? Do you just like get off the bus? Like, where?
Yeah, it's like you're not doing right. You're like, you know.
Yeah, like did you guys like did you get dropped on your head when you were a kid like that?
Yeah, and then my kid like he kind of grew out of it. He's a Packer fan, but he some kids try to be different. but not when you're talking about football. You don't go cheer for the Washington.
Yeah, you're trying to be a funny guy there, trying to like be different.
Yeah. Be different in other ways. Bleach your hair. I don't care.
That's right. Run away from home.
Like there's things you can do. I did all those things. I didn't become like a Bears fan. Bleached my hair a little bit. They used to call me Gold Slogger because I had gold hair. Because I had gold hair. Because I tried to dye my hair blonde, but it didn't work out because my hair is like too dark or whatever. So it turned gold. And also, I liked Gold Slogger back then. That's good stuff.
It is good stuff. It's like
kind of like we got gold. You know what I mean?
We got Gold Slogger and we got Jaeger on the team now. We got like Jaeger and Burton.
Yeah.
We got Jaeger and Gold Slogger together.
Jaeger's good stuff too. You know what I mean?
I've seen some tape on that kid. He's pretty good. So then, okay, you grew up diehard Packers fan, and you're like into like Northeast, like that area, Green Bay-ish or whatever. Close enough to go to games. Did you go to games when you were a kid?
No. The kids didn't get to go to games. Like I think the adults might have been going to games, but they weren't paying for the kids. Back in the day, people didn't care about their kids that much.
No, they're like, you pay your own way to the game.
Yeah. They're like, you go ride your bike around the block. Who cares? Like,
they're like, you stay at home.
Like now, people are like, I want my kid to see Lambeau Field. I'm gonna give them the experience. Back then, they're like, no, you'll see it when you're 24. And you can afford to pay for it yourself.
When you have kids, you bring your kids to the game, but you're staying at home.
Yeah. They didn't bring us out in the world like that. You know what I mean? I didn't go to a game until I was an adult.
Yeah, me too. I didn't go to a game till I was like early 20s, but we did go up to training camp when they had the ride the bike stuff, right? Like hanging out.
I never did that. Like when I was a kid, it was a long bike ride. We lived on the east side. We weren't up, the Lambeau Field. They're like moving on up. You know what I mean? That was a good spot.
It's a long bike ride there.
On the other side,
with the other side of the tracks.
Chain falling off. We couldn't get that far.
So did you ever, when you were younger, did you ever go to like a practice or training camp or anything?
No, I never seen any of that. I wish I did. I wish I'd known like what was all going on. Like my parents, like they didn't really tell us about like that because we were on the whole other side of town.
All right. Well, I'm gonna show you something that might cheer you up just a little bit.
All right, cheer me up, dude. And Doug has left the building.
Okay. You didn't get to go to the training camp, but this is a ball that I had from all the Packers signed meet and greets and training camps in from 87 to 89.
87, 89.
Yeah, so we got like Brent Fullwood on here.
Oh, I remember that.
Tim Harris,
dude. Dude, that was like the number one, like officer friendly back in the day that the cops would give out football cards. Tim Harris was 100%. They're like 90% of the cards.
He was like their Pro Bowl player. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like should we all be Tim Harris?
I got Jeff Query right here.
All right.
The old golden locks we're talking
about.
That
is a good football right there.
I got Ron Holmgren. What's this guy? Ron Holmgren, number 65. I forget how to pronounce his last name. Who else do I have on here? Don Davies on here. Dude, there's a bunch of them. But the crazy part about this ball, I think I have like 12 signatures on it. This is where Don Mikowski tried to sign it, but it's just scratches. Because my pen ran out of ink. So like my hero,
he just walked off on you.
He had like 20 kids around him and he tried to sign it and it didn't work. So then he just went to another kid, but he could have grabbed another kid's pen, but he just
he just said, that was a good lesson for you. Get it together.
So
this is your moment to get it done.
Get yourself together, right?
And it don't work.
The thing that's crazy is also right before that, I saw Sterling Sharp sneaking around with his girlfriend, because like he's famous for having like his ladies around and stuff. He literally was like skirting the outside of the area with this like beautiful lady while still in all of his gear and stuff. And they're just like chilling, walking around. And I run over to him because I'm like, screw that. Sterling Sharp's my hero. I got to just say hi to him. So I go up to him and I'm like, hey, can I have an autograph? And he's like, I'm on vacation, kid. So like twice I got rejected. Double rejection. But I got Jeff Query, baby.
Kid, that would have been awesome to sign. I'm on vacation, kid.
Dude, yeah, you should have signed that on my ball. But it was just funny where I was in shock because I was like, what? Like, you're like, this is practice. Like, what are you talking about, right?
Now. You're in your work uniform.
Yeah, it's like it's like when they say never meet your heroes. I met him when I was like 12 years old, 12 years old, But
Yeah.
like, it was hilarious and funny. You realize
Dude.
these like athletes are celebrities. They don't really give a damn. I mean, they kind of do, but it's like,
Dude, I worked at PDQ car wash, and all the players would come over there, you know what I mean? Wash their car, Mon Green, Gilbert Brown.
oh
We had
yeah.
a lot of players like back in the day. And I remember one time Antonio Freeman came in, and I actually told him this story when I met him one time. But dude, I was a supervisor over there, little flex, you know what I mean? I was kind of a big deal at the car wash. But Antonio Freeman's getting his car wash, his truck wash, whatever, and there's this like young employee that has to hand him like the card and kind of like give him the goodbye or whatever. Antonio Freeman, he sees me, he's like, "Wow, you're Antonio Freeman!" Like all just jacked, and he goes, "Yes, I am," and he shut the door and drove off. And it was like the funniest thing I ever saw, because it wasn't really rude, because it was not expected.
It's kind of funny, right?
We're not even supposed to talk to the players like when they come in. We're not supposed to do all that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really rude, but because he was done, he was getting the the little air freshener thing, and then they drive off. But the way he said it was just so awesome. He's like, "Yes, I am." And then I met him one time at Lambeau doing like a tour or whatever.
Yeah.
And I told him about the story, and he just like laughed. He's like, "Yeah, that might have been me."
yeah. Because I mean, imagine being a guy where that's happened to you all day long. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And like you say, he was at a car wash. It was done. Like, they give you your thing, you get in the car, and he was already in his vehicle. You know what I mean? They wasn't going to pop up like, yeah, do a trick for him or nothing like that.
Yeah, you got to be the pro athlete where you just wink at the kid, like, "Yeah, kid," you just wink at him and you're like, "See you later,"
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what he was doing.
Like,
He's
"Hey,
like, yeah,
don't tell your mama.
don't tell your mama." Yeah, that's right. Dude, because like that whole relationship with the team and like the whole like bike thing and and all that stuff is obviously still popular, but that was like a special thing that like didn't happen with many teams. So like these guys come to Green Bay and there's just kids giving them bicycles and there's people they're surrounded by fans nonstop, and they're like, wow.
And that's the thing about Green Bay, is like kind of small, so like you'll run into like a player like at Bay Beach, it's like a little for people who don't know, it's like a whatever amusement park, kind of mini amusement park or whatever. But I remember like going there with my kid, and there'd be like KGB, Kabir Bajabia, KBG, Kabir Bajabia Milam, remember him? He was there, and my son was like, "Oh, that's him right there," and he was like all freaking out. I'm like, "No, he's with his kids, like don't say nothing." But like you just see him like over at the,
you always hear like everyone would run into Aaron Rodgers at Woodman's like every week. There'd just be like,
Dude, they were like staking him out.
They're like, "There's Rodgers again, man. He's always here at Woodman's."
Yeah, he likes the watermelon, likes the crackers, like know his diet.
Yeah, they know exactly what he's eating that week.
He loves those crackers, you know what I mean?
Rodgers is one of the few athletes where I would just walk up to him and just razz him and be like, "Oh, you're eating bananas again? Okay, yeah, I see what you're doing."
Just walk up to him and go, "One in the old gully.
You want to put him in the old vice?" I feel like if you actually said something funny as hell to Rodgers, he would just die, laughing.
I think so too.
Because he kind of likes the attention a little bit.
Yeah, so I've only met him once and he yelled at me, so.
What did he yell at you?
Because I was the umpire at a charity softball game.
Oh right, that's right.
And I wasn't paying attention. They came in, and I should have just went whatever way he needed to go, but I went with the defense. He's like, "What the hell are you doing? You're doing?" He's just yelling at me, and I'm just like, I can't even hear what he's saying. I'm like, "Well, this is Aaron Rodgers like in my face." And then Devontae Adams came over, and he started yelling at me too. I was like, "Whoa. This is awesome."
Well, dude, they're highly competitive athletes.
And I screwed up. I wasn't paying attention because I was like, I'm around all these Packer players, so I was like, just like getting zoned out. Like that, Zadarius Smith was there, like all this, because Zadarius Smith was like right next to me, the whole time, and he like fist bumped me. And it's like his fist like the size of your head, you know what I mean? And then I was just kind of out of it, and then but once you get yelled at by Aaron Rodgers, it kind of like thickens the skin a little bit when you get
got you used to it. I mean, what do they expect at a celebrity softball game with celebrity umpires? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, and they got like this dumbass like from Instagram, like, "Hey, you want to be an umpire over there? Come on, you have a few followers. Be an umpire over here." Like I don't know the rules.
Well, the thing too is that like even though yes they want to be competitive, but it should be funny. He should have like pretended to get mad at you and got up in your face,
Well,
like,
he said after a while, after like 5 minutes later, he said that he looked at me and he goes, "Are you umping or just hanging out?" That was my favorite line.
That's
was
typical
my
Rogers,
because it
bro.
was like he didn't let it go. Like 5 minutes later.
Dude, yeah, you are, but you're doing both. You were hired to just hang out.
Yeah.
They're like, you're an
And they're
Instagram
like,
guy,
hey,
come
you can
hang
go
out.
live during this thing. Like they would kind of told me like it wasn't like a big deal. Turns out it was. You know what I mean?
Well,
But
when
yeah.
Rogers there is a big deal, and also you were ahead of your time a little bit because you were a famous Instagrammer. Nowadays, people would be like, "Oh, the famous Instagrammer is here. It's a bigger deal." They would be like, "Oh
No,
my
no
god," and they would
kidding.
be like in awe of you even more, and then they would be the ones messing up.
No, people DM me. They're like, "Hey, I saw Aaron Rodgers yelling at you. Are you all right?"
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
I'll be all right.
Well, here it says, Eddie's in the audience. He says Rogers feels like a guy if you approach and setting is right, he'll play along. Well, apparently he will not. Okay, because he got personally upset that Matt Ramage, who represents the Packers community, was like just zoning. He was maxing and relaxing. You know what I'm saying? He's like taking it in.
Relaxing.
You know, you're there. Your personality and your presence is required at those events because you're fun.
Dude, I was so starstruck. I was so like, just like frozen. And then like Robert Tonyan, because like I used to talk to some of these players like at that time, like through DM. Robert Tonyan like DM me, and he was like, "Everyone's laughing at you in the dugout."
Yes,
like,
yes, see, that's what I'm talking about. They are Tonyan and those guys were like this. They're like, this is the best.
They're like, this guy's gonna cry.
Yeah. The rest of the team's like, finally Rogers is yelling at someone else. His eyes not.
Yeah, they're like, let him go after that.
They're like, can we have this guy around more often so he takes the steam off of us?
You could just be like the guy that Rogers yells at. That's good stuff. You know what I mean?
That is so funny.
But I was like, dude, you asked the guy with the jacked up eyes. Like, I'm known for like making the eye videos.
Yeah, he looked
and they're like, yeah, let's ask this
"Ah."
cross-eyed guy to be the umpire. You know, that was your first mistake.
You gotta like reenact this moment.
Fine.
You gotta find someone to play Rogers and just reenact it, and then it turns to your face, and you're like, you didn't see the play, and then you just go like, what?
Dude, no, that's the funniest part is they all after it happened, like, dude slid in, the dirt came up, and I'm just there, and they all look at me like, what's the call? And they actually said that, like, I didn't say nothing. I was just like, just froze.
If
what's
they
the
were
call?
smart,
I just yelled. I was like 50-50, you know what I mean?
If they were smart, they would have made the call themselves and been like safe, and then you would just repeated that, and
yeah,
it would have been
right.
right.
Repeated it, you know what I mean?
See,
I was very influential. I could have been influenced.
They were not real baseball players. A real baseball or softball player would know. You just tell the ump like, "Hey, I was safe," and you influence them.
Like, yeah, it sounds good to me.
When you just turn and go like, "Huh?" Then you're just at the discretion.
I think what happened was Adarius Smith was a very large human, and he was right next to me like the whole time. And then, so I just looked at him and was like, "I'm gonna go in his favor because he might yell at me."
You're like, "I'm choosing."
He might just like, "Bing,"
because I gotta stand next to him. That's so funny. Like, oh my god! But that's the thing. People were making jokes today about like, if Rogers was a GM, like he'd just like tell everybody on the team how terrible they are the entire time, right? Like, you're not good enough to be on my team.
No, Rogers was cool. I mean, yeah, it was funny. Like, I never held anything against it. I thought it was a cool story. I remember going to like graduation parties after that, and then all the dads. That's all I did for that whole. Because I had to go to like 4 graduation parties because my son graduated that year, and I was just going on tour telling this story. Like, I got yelled at by Aaron Rodgers. Like, oh, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, it looks like Derek's gonna jump on the show in a little bit, so he'll be able to ask some questions too. He's been looking forward to this. That's my brother. We both grew up talking sports and competing, playing football on the same football team and baseball and stuff. So like, he's my brother Derek, who does the show with me and Dave, but Derek specifically, like the whole reason I'm probably even like so into sports and know so much stuff and love it so much is like me and my brother would just be doing it all the time, we'd be out playing baseball, playing football. So we played on the same football team in high school, all that stuff, like competition. So I'm sure I'll have some fun questions for you. But yeah, you've had other cool people on your show, right? Like you've had like good relationships with other players that have come on your show. I think like Haha and other people. Like, who are your favorite guys you've had on your show?
I mean, the top 2 is Haha Clinton Dix and Preston Smith. Haha Clinton Dix, like the first one, he came to my house. We did it like in my living room, did the podcast, and like he went like out of his way to like do that. Like I was like, no, we can do it anywhere. We can do it, whatever. And he came like all the way to my house because I kind of live in the wrong direction because he was going to Milwaukee at that time. So like he went way out of his way. So it was super cool, and I was super nervous for that. The audio was screwed up, and I was like trying to like fix it on the fly, and I don't know anything about audio. But then Preston Smith, he went on, and he didn't do any fan like podcasts ever.
Right.
He did some ESPN like Pat McAfee and whatnot, but he never did like a fan stuff. But he came on mine one time. As other times he was just like, that was enough. That's enough of that. No, but and then that was all because of haha. Like without haha Clint Dix, a lot of the other players wouldn't talk to you, because once you get kind of like a respected player, and I'll name drop. I'm like, yeah, haha Clint Dix on my podcast, this and that. And then they're like, all right, well, if he's cool with you, then you must be all right.
Once you got one guy to vouch for you.
I had Tim Boyle on my podcast. This is like before I was doing live streams and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like I froze halfway through. My brain was just like shut off, and
that can happen.
And I was like, and it just like it wasn't live or nothing, but I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And I was like so like having like a panic attack or whatever after that. I was like, I can't think of any question. And then I said to him, I was like, do you have any ideas? I actually said this to a football player on a podcast. And then he started talking, and then my brain came back, and I was like, oh no, I got it. And then I just kind of went on my way. And then I was like, never tell anyone about this. And we kind of laughed about it like at the end. And I was like, I'll edit that out or whatever. But then every podcast I go on, I always tell that story. But it was like so humiliating, like at the time, because you're trying to do like good stuff, you're trying to be like good interviewer. They get interviewed all the time. And that's the thing about interviewing like players and people who do it all the time, is that they know how it's supposed to be done. And then I'm over here like, what's your favorite color?
Yeah, dude. But that's what kind of makes it fun, because like you have a big personality, and like most podcasts, I think like are like they just don't have like that big personality. So the players probably like that. They probably enjoy coming on your show.
Well, and I think like I always say like Preston Smith, he's probably only been interviewed one time by a dude half in the bag. Because like I would just drink beer, you know what I mean? Like it didn't matter what I was doing. Because Tom Crabtree told me, because I used to have Tom Crabtree on my show all the time.
Oh yeah.
And I would get nervous. I was just starting off back then, and he's like, just have a few drinks, you know what I mean? Get loose. That's what I do. And he's like, when I do these things, and then I was like, yeah, he's right. I just get hammered. And he's like, no, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. So then I would just like interview, like, I got Kenny Clark, whatever.
Yep. That's right, Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny Clark was on my show like 4 times, and I would just, have a few beers, and then it's more like just talking. It's not like interviewing, like asking questions, because like a lot of times when you have players on, especially people who are like amateurs, people who are like, we're just fans.
Yeah.
We get like, we kind of sometimes ask some dumb stuff. I ask some dumb stuff, but I think that kind of makes it different, because if you want all the ESPN questions, you'll get them, because all the reporters who do a great job will ask all those questions. So they come on my podcast. I want to know, like I always ask the players, like, when did you know that you were going to be like the NFL level?
Yeah.
And it's funny because some players knew right away, but like some like Adrian Amos, I had him on. That was a cool interview. He didn't know till like the end of his college year. Like he had a big game.
Yeah.
And then him and his dad, he was talking about him and his dad were just like talking. And he's like, I think I can do it. And his dad's like, yeah, you got whatever. And like, I think those are like the cool questions to ask.
Yeah, it's like much more personable. It's like the ESPN stuff sounds like too like planned ahead, where like they have an agenda or they don't really know the team, and the team, and it's much more personable, like you actually care. So I think that's why the players love you, because like it's like a real thing. Like you really love the team. It's real. It's not just some random reporter that's just doing a job.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like the fan perspective, you know what I mean? Because like professional people have like the questions that they have to ask. But we're just fans. We're just a regular dude drinking beer in their basement. And I think it's cool that, at times, so lately, Packer players, I've been hitting them up on a DM trying to get players to come on. They're like, yeah, we're good. We're good with that. You know what I mean? But I think it's cool to, even if it's not me, like you see, like Cheesehead TV, Nagler and Corey get to, they talk to Coach and to Wisconsin. I think it's cool seeing, even though they are like, obviously more professional than me, but I think it's cool to see fans have a shot to just ask them questions.
Well, that whole like kind of impromptu, like asking more personal questions of like putting yourself in their shoes. Hey, when did you think this? That's much more fun to talk about versus like a normal reporter being like, oh, why didn't you do this in this game or whatever? You're like talking to them like a person.
Yeah.
And that's like really cool. I like that much more. I want to put myself in the shoes of them and be like, what would it be like to like, do this thing or go through what they
Yeah.
went through.
Yeah,
Like,
because I asked Preston Smith, who was like one of his favorite quarterbacks to sack. And he was talking about this game. I think he played for Washington at the time before he came to Green Bay. And he was playing against Brady, and he was trying to get a sack. He's like, I wanted to sack him so bad. And he was like, just missed him a couple times. And I think he might actually got the sack at the end. I forget. That's how good of a memory I got. But I think it's cool. Like they kind of ask those, like, just like whatever. I think a lot of people are wondering. Just ask the freaking question. You know what I mean?
So like you did a bunch of interviews with Tom Crabtree, and he turned into like a social media star. So his social media career kind of maybe started with your show a little bit.
No, I think he was doing all right before that.
He was doing okay before that.
Yeah, he was like a fan favorite on Twitter back in the day.
Yes.
And I remember because like he talked to me, and I actually met him. Funny story, like when I was at a Dane Cook concert. Remember Dane Cook came to Green Bay, and all the players are going. I was going with my brother-in-law, Matt. Shout out. And Crabtree DM me because I was talking to him like throughout the week on Twitter. He followed me and whatnot, and he was like the first player to ever like interact with me or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm going to Dane Cook concert too. Maybe I'll see you there, whatever. So he DM'd me during the show. And he's like, hey, my wife couldn't make it. I got an extra meet and greet if you want to hang out. And I was like, oh yeah. So I was more jacked to meet Tom Crabtree. I was because then we were gonna meet Dane Cook. The funniest thing though, because Dane Cook, like you walk in and they're like, hey, Dane Cook was hot back then,
Yeah.
And they were like, you don't touch him, you could take a picture, but like don't touch him. Some lady like right in front of us launched at Dane Cook and jumped in the air with her arms and legs wide open to like just wrap up around him,
Yeah.
And this like 360-pound like bodyguard just drug her out of there. Some big, huge dude drug her out of there, and then they're like, "Don't do that." I'm like, "I promise you, I will not."
He was the guy that got famous on MySpace. He was the MySpace superstar.
Yeah.
Dane Cook.
He's actually he was hilarious back then. I still follow him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually I talked to him once because I tried to get him on to come on my Twitter Space podcast show, but it never worked out. He's one of those guys. He's a little bit too popular for that.
Yeah. I've had that. I've had that comedians like Dusty Slay.
Oh,
I was talking to him about coming on my podcast, and then like halfway through, I realized I was like, all right, this guy's way too big to be on my podcast.
He's a pretty well-known guy.
Yeah, he's very, but yeah, I mean, he's got better stuff to do than hang out on my podcast, especially like my podcast, mostly about Packers. He's on the comedy podcast, but he's awesome.
But that's the cool thing is that like I love being in the world of like media, social media or whatever, because you just never know. You make friends. Tom Crabtree just randomly is like, oh, hey, by the way, you want to come do this meet and greet thing? You never know. Cool stuff can happen.
Yeah, it was so cool. I remember it was funny because I was like so stunned. I'm like, oh, I'm sitting next to Tom Crabtree. And I didn't understand. Like, I can't believe I'm hanging out with the Packer player. People were like, what? Who? And he's like, shut up. He didn't want to be like noticed. He's just trying to. Like,
you're like, oh, Dane Cook's here? I'm sorry. I'm hanging out with Tom Crabtree. I'm too busy for Dane Cook.
I was more excited to meet Tom Crabtree than I was Dane Cook. And, shout out to Dane Cook because I actually like Dane Cook, but Tom Crabtree is the most solid dude. Like he's very, very good people. I've known him for a lot of years.
He's got a great personality on Twitter, and you can tell he's just like a great dude to
and his kid is doing some stuff now. If you follow my Instagram, you see Bryce over there. He's about to be like, the next superstar in the NFL. You know what I mean?
Shout out Bryce Crabtree.
You know what I mean?
Dude. Yeah, we need some more tight ends. The NFL is all about having 3, 4, 5 tight ends on the field.
You know what I mean? He's just eating that thing.
Oh, he's quarterback. When you were a kid and you were like playing maybe football in the backyard or whatever, who would you like pretend to be? Did you do that kind of where you're like,
I did that. Don Majkowski.
Donnie
Majkowski. I remember being in the backyard in snow pants and snow and all that stuff. We didn't have jerseys back then. I had a green jersey. It could have been a Jets jersey, but it was a 7, no name on the back. It was just a plain green jersey. But back then, we pretended, and I would just be like, I remember making fun of it because when Favre came in, I hated Favre. When Favre first came in, I was like, dude, if Don Majkowski was in there, and then we would always like give excuses like, oh, the line protects better for Favre. You know what I mean? We would like, but after a little bit, we kind of realized that Favre was a real deal. But Don Majkowski was like my first favorite quarterback. Like Lynn Dickey, I saw him, but I wasn't like locked in like I was. at that age, like Don Mikowski was there when I started to understand football and like kind of start to get that little passion, you know what I mean? But Don Mikowski, and then I ended up meeting him, just walking down Shadow Lane in Green Bay after a game. Don Mikowski's waiting on an Uber. I walk up, I'm like, holy shit, you're Don Mikowski. My son's all hammered, you know what I mean? He's an adult. And he's like, dude, my dad loves you. He's been talking about you. And he said, this effort's been talking about you forever. He's like, that's your father, not an effort. Because, you know,
yeah.
And he fixed his grammar, you know what I mean? But yeah,
People
Don
get
Mikowski,
excited.
he was like one of my favorites.
Yeah, that was kind of him and Sterling Sharp when I was a kid. Those are like the big like superstars of the Packers. And
yeah, Don Mikowski, you still find him hanging out, you know what I mean, at Stadium View.
Yeah.
Mikowski's around because he ain't about that. He'll choke you out if you need be.
I mean, I might just have to grow out like, you know, my mullet and stuff and just like don like, you know, a magician's outfit, like and tear the arms off. I mean,
I think
why
you can
not?
do it. I'm looking at it right now. I'm just like, yeah, I think you got it.
I mean, I could. He does come and hang. He's a great guy, the old Don Mikowski.
No, he's awesome. Man. Yeah, shout out to
He's
Don
still
Mikowski.
on Twitter.
Yeah.
We got a question from the audience. Eddie wants to know, what made you get into the podcasting?
Actually, dude, it was like I was doing like I did Vine back in the day. I was all jokes about my eyes, no Packer stuff. That kind of got boring. I kind of stopped. Then Vine died or whatever. I was on Instagram. I had a meme page on Instagram because my son was doing like graphic design, you know, like Lambo Leapers, all those guys kind of do. My son did that back in the day. And so I was just kind of trying to bond with him a little bit. So I made a meme page. The meme page kind of popped off a little bit. I did it for a lot of years, but I got sick of making memes. So a buddy of mine, the Green Bay guy, my buddy Ben, he said, just, you know, make it into yourself and just start talking about the Packers. You could have a podcast. He was telling me all the stuff I could do. So I did that. I kind of slowly changed the name, lost a lot of followers right away. But then I started a podcast, and then I talked to Tom Crabtree, you know, because nobody wanted to come on my podcast. You started a podcast. Somebody, they're going to go on my podcast? Like, shut up, kid.
Yeah, like, who are you?
Like, nobody really wants to come on. And then I had Crabtree come on. I think he thought I had other guests. I'd have him come on like every 3 weeks, but he was mainly like the like kind of like the main guest. Then I started asking like Aaron Nagler. He kind of came on. And then I started talking to Corey and started kind of just talking to people, kind of just chugging along. I quit for a while doing the podcast thing because I sucked. And then I kind of came back the next year. And then that's when Ha Clan Dix came back. He was the first guest on the podcast I have now because I quit the first time. And then I just started getting like, you know, good people like Andy Herman, like you say, all the people that everyone wants to get in the podcast. And kind of got a little credibility. I wouldn't say credibility as like as far as knowing stuff, but just like people started knowing who I was and kind of paying attention to me. And like that's the thing. I remember asking Andy Herman for advice when I first started doing the podcast thing, and he's like, "Just don't try to be me." He's like, "Just do what you do," and he didn't mean it like that way. Like, don't try to do what I do. Right? I got locked up. But it was great advice. I think it was the best advice. It's like just be you. Don't try to conform to like the analysts and try to be like, you know, just like everyone else. You're kind of a goofy dude, whatever. Just kind of do that, and that's kind of what I do. I just drink beer and talk about football like you would if you were drinking beer with someone, you know.
You're keeping it real, yeah.
Keeping it
real up in here.
Well, you know, I'm not smart enough to try to fake the funk. That's what even if I tried, people would be like, this guy doesn't know anything. That's
the thing is you keep it simple, stupid. You know, that whole saying, keep it simple, stupid, KISS, whatever, KISS. Yeah. Just go with the simple things. Be cool to people, treat people well, and like follow your passion. Like, you know,
I just think you have to have fun. I always tell people they ask for advice about podcasting, just make it fun. And it's not fun for me to like break down analytics and like do all the stuff everyone else does. I'll let them do that and then just copy their content. No, I'm just kidding. But like that's not fun. I just like to just talk about the basic stuff, have fun, like do watch parties. Like we did a Brewer stream last night. Like I'm not a big Brewer guy, you know. I just want to have fun and like I think it's cool that people.
I'm ready. A moment.
Your comment section's popping over here. You know what I mean? I just think it's cool. You can just talk about football, sports, whatever. Hang out. Got people to hang out with. You know what I mean? You don't have to have friends in real life. We got the internet.
That's true. That's true. I might have a few real life friends, but we've got the internet. And I'm like, I have tons of friends all over the place, like all over the world through the internets.
Someone at work, like, dude, you're a loser. I'm like, yeah, well, Johnny2479 on Twitter thinks I'm the greatest thing in the world.
You know, baby got back 697-420.
Yeah, I got
loves
that
me.
going for me. Although I do get a few death threats here and there too. You know what I mean? But you just gotta ignore those.
There's gonna be haters all the time. We have a cool question in here. I think this is Vinny up in the house. So what's up, Vinny?
Vinny,
we had the watch party last night. If you could have 3 wishes for the Packers season, what would they be and why? That's a good question, Matt. You can go first, or if you want me to go first, I will.
Well, I'll go first. Right out the dome. 3 things for the Packers season. If I had 3 wishes, it would be, not to bring up a sour note, but that this whole Josh Jacobs thing is not, what it. You hope
it's just like a made up thing. He didn't actually like.
I hope that. Yeah, and hopefully that didn't happen. Whatever. And I would hope. All right. So for next 2 wishes, what would I hope? I hope Jordan Love progresses, because he did good last year. Like, to be serious,
he was the 4th best quarterback in the league according to PFF.
Yeah, there's so many numbers. People like to ignore the numbers. They kind of pick and choose their own numbers to make him like look bad. But Jordan Love is on the road, like to doing some stuff. Sometimes people think he should be Aaron Rodgers. He should be Brett Favre, coming from Green Bay. I don't know what they expect from Jordan Love, but the numbers are there. So if he just keeps moving up, I think that would be fabulous. Just keep on the track. And my third wish would be just like limit the injuries. I know you can't say no injuries, because you can turn injuries off in Madden. You can't do that in real life. But like, but I think every fan base, I saw a Lions fan going off on Twitter about this the other day. And I just think every fan base thinks that their team is just gonna, like the football gods will like condemn them. You know what I mean? So like with all the injuries, but if we could just not have our key players going down, you know what I mean? Let's just go for that. Let's just have like a reasonable. Obviously, there's going to be injuries throughout the year, but let's not take out like the top, 5 guys.
Yeah, let's not take out all the good players.
Let the top 5 just chill. You know what I mean? Micah. I actually, I don't even want to name names, because I feel like I'm going to put some kind of injury hex over their names. You know what I mean? But you know who they are.
Okay, well, one follow-up question, like, who on the team that you really want to interview that you haven't interviewed yet?
Tucker Kraft, for 100%, for sure. I mean, Micah Parsons would be awesome as well, but like he talks a lot. He has his own podcast. He does, But I feel like Tucker Kraft is just like, dude, sit down, dude. I'd even throw some Bush lattes down with him. You know what I mean? Like Tucker Kraft, he's my favorite player right now. He just feels like an everyday dude. Just happens to be really awesome.
You'd be on the good wavelength.
And watch out, everyone. Watch out for Tucker Kraft, dude. He's about to take over the league. He's going to be the best tight end in the league. That injury was catastrophic for him. He was about to do big things. He's going to open up this offense. Dude, Tucker Kraft. When you're talking about the Green Bay Packers, talk about Tucker Kraft, because
wasn't he leading the league in yards, receiving yards when he got hurt?
He was leading a lot of stuff. I don't know exactly what it was.
I think I'm pretty sure he was leading the league in receiving yards. And he's on my fantasy football team.
Yeah,
and I was crushing people.
Yeah, he's on my fantasy team and my real team. You know what I mean? And I did, I might have to buy a jersey. I think I might have it.
I got actually at the draft. I came up for the draft this, last one at Green Bay. Yeah. What it do? And I bought a Tucker Kraft jersey from like out on the street. We got all his chats. Isaiah Hopkins up in the chat. We got Phil in Minnesota up in the house.
Billy Boy, what's good?
He says put Chris Brooks on IR. I don't know what these people are doing. This is fucking black magic they're doing in the chat.
Yeah, Billy Boy doesn't like Chris Brooks. It's kind of a known thing on my stream. And
he's the best pass blocking running back in the league. It's great. He's fine.
Maybe Philly Boy, you just got that this will be the year that you turn around, like you see the light.
Yeah, give him a chance, man. He's great at. I mean, we need to protect Jordan Love. You know what I'm saying? He's like priority number 1.
Yeah.
In Dart Smoke Bush Lights. Okay, so number 1 will be Tucker Kraft. Okay, now I'll answer the question for the 3 things I would wish to happen this season. I want the team to have a direct focus. Like I want Matt LaFleur to really get grit in this team and get that offensive line and that running game actually going. You know what I mean? Like get in there and play some real football, because the passing game I think will take care of itself. It'll be good. Jordan Love is a top 4 quarterback according to PFF. So like, you know, he's
wouldn't
fantastic.
lie.
He'll do good. Yeah, so we want the offensive line and get that offense turning. We need that offense efficiency to go. We need to find an identity with that offensive line is my number one thing. And if that happens, we'll be number 1 offense in the league. We'll just be like cooking with hot sauce. Number 2, we need the defense to get some edge to them. When, you know, even when Mike is in there, often they kind of do a little bit, but they need to get an edge to that defense, right? Where like they're in there, they're hitting dudes. Like they need to get like, you know, Bullard mentality. Javon Bullard.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about. Like that Ravens, like 2000 Ravens, kind of like that nasty. I'm not talking the play wise, but just I feel like when the defensive players are kind of talking, they're chipping. You know what I mean? They're like they're fired up. You know what I mean? I think that brings good play.
Bullard's looking to headhunt. He's like, anybody on your team, I'm taking you out. If you get near me, you're done.
Dude, they're gonna remember me. As a defensive player, this is what you need to do. When you tackle a man, you need to think about, hey, I want his last thoughts before he falls asleep tonight to be of me. I want him to think of me. Hit him so hard that he's at night sleeping, just laying there like, man, that's a grown man right there. You know what I mean?
I agree with this so much. Bullard should literally be the mascot of the team. The guy's like an amazing football player, you know?
Remember
like
Tari Bigby? He used to come in and throw the
down. Bullard's like a better version of Tari Bigby. He can cover a little bit better, you know? He's a little bit whatever.
Tari Bigby would just he would hit him. He'd be on the sideline, just helmet pop.
Yeah, he's a real strong safety playing nickel, and I think he's going to play a lot in like the nickel dime. Put Bullard in there, put him in the box, let him hit somebody. Like a little heat-seeking missile up in there. He needs a cool nickname. Number 3 thing we need for this team is we need to continue to beat division opponents, but be even better at this. So we need to beat the Bears. If we take care of our division opponents and we beat up on the Lions and the Bears and the Vikings, we're good to go. We're going to go into the playoffs and we're going to start smoking fools, you know, like we're going to have that confidence.
I like that. You see that over in the chat. Number 5, Matt needs to be better at play calling late in the game.
Yeah, is that Matt Ramage or LaFleur? Which one is this?
No, but I be laying him down. You know, I be doing a little bit of drinking sometimes.
Well, like Bullard's number 7, which is Don Mikowski's number now, which is it's a magical number. You know, maybe he'll get a pick 6.
Yeah,
with that number 7 going in there.
What are you trying to say about Don Mikowski? If you're talking about that.
No, I'm just saying Mikowski threw touchdowns. Bullard's going to like catch the ball and run for touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of crazy having these numbers everywhere,
you
know?
The whole number thing is weird. Like my numbers. Memory, you know.
Bullard looks good in 20. Like, I don't know, man. Like
they switch numbers every year now, it seems like, you know.
Even when we were kids, everyone wanted to be like number 1 or number 5, or it looks cool. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask myself the question also of like, what Packer would I want to interview most? And guess what? I actually did a podcast with Christian Watson. It was like a gaming one for like a company that we both got brought in. So it wasn't on my show. And that was cool, but I didn't really get to talk to him a lot. We were mostly gaming and playing this football game and stuff. I asked him some questions here and there, but it wasn't like a hangout session where he kind of really gets to let loose. But he's a really cool dude. I really like Christian Watson a lot. But yeah, the player that I would want to interview most on the Packers, okay, I need to think about this for a second because I think it might be Cooper. It might be Edgerrin Cooper, you know?
Yeah.
Or Zaire Franklin, one of the linebackers. I want somebody on this field to set a precedent. I want the linebackers to bring this defense some grit. You know what I'm saying, Matt? Like, we need to get in there and get busy.
No, I like that. I think Franklin, he's good on Twitter. He feels like he's got some stuff to say.
Yeah, he's a good talker, Zaire Franklin.
He starts chatting with you.
He starts chatting. He's kind of got that over the top personality, which I kind of like. I mean, him, Micah, and that kid coming in, DDS, you know, it's like he has a lot of that too. He has a lot of confidence in himself, and he likes to, you know, let people know about it.
Yeah. I think Jordan Love would be an interesting one to talk to too. You don't really see him talk too much. When he does, he's kind of in media form. You know what I mean? He's not real. I'd like to get him on my podcast, get a couple of 3 Coors Lights in him. You know what I mean? Let's have a conversation.
I know, right? People are they're chirping in the chat about Marshawn Lynch at practice. Did he go through a full OTA practice without getting hurt? That would be great.
He went home, no boots on. He's good to go.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He walked up in the driveway and they're like, "Woo, no boot, no." But
all right, I'm gonna ask you. We're gonna go into the quiz now. All right,
let's get into it. Where are we at?
Actually, you know what? We're gonna wait because my brother's gonna come on the show, and you can do that. You can go against each other for the quiz to see whatever,
Hey, can I take a bathroom break? Can you ramble for like?
Yeah. You take a bathroom break. I'll ramble.
Yeah, ramble for a minute because I've been holding this thing. You know what I mean? I've been drinking.
Yeah, I was staying hydrated in here. Matt likes to take bathroom breaks and then jump back in and like shock you and be like, "I'm back." So be prepared. Let's see. Good reps. Hope he's healthy. Okay, who we got in the audience? We got viewers here. All right. What do you guys think about the Packers season up here? Who do you think is going to be? I want the chat. I want you to tell me who do you think is going to be the surprise player on the offense this year that steps up? It could be an O lineman. It could be like Musgrave. It could be, Golden. It could be Savion Williams could be the person that steps up on offense. It could be Jaeger Burton. It could be any other offensive lineman. Like maybe Sean Ryan has a big season and actually plays well at center. Maybe Belton is the man. Eddie says he's pro bathroom breaks. Golden or Banks? I need you to pick one. Who's number one for you? Golden or Banks, the left guard? You think Banks is going to make a comeback this year and play a little bit better because he's healthy? That would be cool. He's supposed to be a tone setter, like a big boy up in there. And also those guys, were they all at the old Luke Combs concert? All those dudes? Let's see. Luke Combs concert? Yeah, we paid him big money. That doesn't mean a whole lot, though. Sometimes we pay people and then they start playing not so great because they already got their money. So okay. So that you're picking Belton. Eddie's picking Belton. So Eddie thinks that Belton's going to learn how to pass block this year. You think Belton's going to be like a decent pass blocker? Like he's going to learn some stuff in the offseason? What do you think about this, Matt? Eddie's picking. I asked him on offense, who do you think that is going to be the player that steps up this year that like ascends to like, a good player? And he picks Belton, the right guard. He thinks he's going to take a step and get better. Do you think that's a possibility? Because he's a big boy and it's hard for him to move around and get the pass blocking, Yeah,
I'm known for my good offensive line analyst. You know what I mean? I don't know. I ain't gonna lie to you. Offensive line, dude, I'm oblivious to it. But I think that they kind of know what they're doing. But I think Matthew Golden is the guy to watch who's gonna pop up this year.
We've got 2 votes for one vote for Golden. Okay, you vote for Golden. We got 2 votes for Golden.
First of all, offensive line, dude, I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna fake the funk. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about when I talk about offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of technique and little
there's all the techniques and stuff. I trust your people though.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about Belton's, you look at the replays and he's just so big and heavy that he can't like move fast enough to get to the pass blocking spots. And it's like,
I just think
maybe he can do it though.
The line, like what they need to do, they just need to have people like working in their spots. Because like they get injuries that people are moving around, they're shifting. Like,
they're moving them around too much.
Yeah, just let's dude get comfortable in their spots.
Yeah, Golden was great in the last Bears game when he took that little swing pass and he did like a spin move and then he went through guys and then he like did a juke move in between 2 guys. That was cool.
He's got the tools, dude. When they give him like more opportunities, he's more kind of like focal point of the offense. I think he's gonna be all right.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave the quiz until Derek gets here, but I'm gonna ask you some specific Packers questions here. Okay,
what do you got?
I heard today there's a quote from like a famous Hall of Famer. I can't remember who, but they said that good teams have an identity, championship teams have an identity, and you can't stop it. You know what I mean? For example, like somebody like remember when we lost to the Broncos in the Super Bowl and they could just run the ball all day and we couldn't stop it. So for this upcoming season with the Packers, what do you see as being the offensive identity, and do you think they can get it to a championship level where no one can stop it? I
mean, a lot depends on the story that's going on right now. But I think that the identity, I don't know, like what is the identity of the Packers offense? What's it going to be? Are they going? I feel like they're kind of a balanced team. That's what they definitely want to be. It's going to depend on who's playing running back this year, but maybe the identity is going to be Jordan Love winning MVP and just slinging this thing.
See, that's
First of all,
good.
I feel like all the disrespect that he gets, I would love to see him just pop off. I mean, not that he hasn't, done some stuff so far that people are just blind to see, but just pop off. You got Tucker Kraft back. You got some, Matthew Golden. I think Matthew Golden is going to be really good with the limited of what we've seen of the options that he's had. He's done it. So like, get him all the targets. Get after it. We're going to see, but I don't know that you can kind of pick an identity right now. In the offseason.
Yeah, this is a tough question. You have to like vision to the future, right? And
you gotta see what they got going on. I don't know. I can see the passing game popping off.
I think that's a good answer. Like Jordan Love his PFF rating was like an 88 last year, which is 4th in the league. And so like a lot of people don't even have him in their top 10. But according to the analytics that, when they take into account like how much pass blocking you get, what all the other things that you don't like obviously see all the time
coming in.
Yeah, all this like free pass rushers and stuff. That he was actually had by far his best season ever was last year. Like very, very like he for halfway through the season, he was like second in MVPs odds. You know what I mean? So like then everyone got hurt and it kind of like made it not quite such a good thing. And even in the playoff game against the Bears, he had 4 touchdowns, played pretty well. At the end, we didn't make it out, but so the identity could also be a defensive identity, but that I'm not sure that's something that's in the cards for us. You know what I mean? Look at Seattle; they had like this, top. Was it the number 1 defense in the league? I mean, number 2, maybe number 1.
But I do think that the defense could be like that. The strong point of this year. I mean, I think even if you like, we've seen the Packers offenses that. We're popping off. If your defense trash, then it doesn't matter. I think you got to have that Micah Parsons kind of that grit. When he went down, Wyatt went down, Tucker Kraft went down. I feel like a lot of it, the energy left. But I think that this defense can be nasty. If Micah Parsons there, I feel like he lifts everyone up, kind of makes them better.
That's a big part of it, but also the new guys we got. Hargrave is pretty good.
Yeah.
We got Zaire Franklin, who is like a real dog. Oh, there's also a dog barking right now.
Yeah,
too.
There's a lot of dogs. He really gets into this podcast. You know what I mean? He's like,
the dog's trying to get on the podcast too. He wants to be.
Like, someone say dog. I'm a dog.
I have a dog. I have a puppy that looks just like my jacket. Everybody, just FYI. Okay, so
or what? He's like, whoa.
He's just mad because he wants
to lose that thing. You're like, where's my coat? He's like, I'll find it. Don't worry about it. I'll find it.
Well, we've been playing all day and running around and doing stuff, and then all of a sudden he's like, I'm not paying attention to him, and he gets angry. You know what I'm saying? He's like, he has a one-track mind. He's like, I need my play time.
Yeah, you've been talking for a long time, but you ain't talking to me.
You ain't talking. That's exactly it. He's like, why are you talking to other people? You should be talking to me. And what's crazy about it, Matt, is that he's deaf, so like he can't even really hear me.
Yeah, but probably a blessing. You know what I mean?
Oh, look, okay, we have, okay, here we go. Dun. Here he is. Adding to the stage, Neckbeard.
Hey!
Matt. How are you guys? How are you? I was hoping for a WWE.
Someone who knows what the hell's going on over here.
Yeah, I know. We got to get dug off.
We need like the crashing thing. Dun.
Yeah.
Here he is.
WWE intros only. Matt, how are you doing today, bud?
Dude, I'm good.
How you beers for you together.
Nice. Wait, so I heard there was going to be some sort of quiz, which I'm
we're going to do a quiz.
Okay.
We're going to do a quiz.
He's tweaking me out with this quiz because like he keeps talking about this quiz.
I knew Matt was going to get all riled up about a quiz.
I didn't graduate high school for a reason.
Derek, you're going to have to watch this back though, Matt.
A lot of it had to do with the quizzes.
Matt talks all about how Aaron Rodgers got mad at him in a softball game for doing the wrong call. All of this due to a huge history of podcasting, boy. Tom Crabtree, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we were name dropping like a zombie on this.
Yeah. But you can go back and watch that back. But also, if you have any questions for Matt, you can ask him obviously on the show. But we went over like kind of his whole history of his podcast a bit. And
I mean, I missed it. How long have you been doing this, Matt? Out of curiosity.
I think like 2015. I think is when like like
11
Facebook
years.
stuff started going off, and then that, like I kind of mentioned this earlier, but like my buddy, the Green Bay guy, people who don't know, he does content, but he is the one that told me like, hey, you should do a podcast. That's kind of like what made me like think that, because like who the hell am I to think? Yeah, I could do that. And I kind of started. I think it was like 2018 that kind of when the podcast thing kind of started though.
Gotcha.
That makes sense. Yeah,
I quit the first time. I did 1 year, and I was like, oh, I suck at this. I'm really horrible. So I quit, and then I kind of regrouped. Like, no, I don't want to quit. I want to come back, and then kind of that's when I got How Clandix come on podcast.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna say you could tell you've been doing it a while. You're very natural at it. So very, you fill the space very well.
Oh yeah, I think once you do it long, because I used to get so nervous, even like asking like anybody, didn't matter who it was, if it was a big person or a friend or whatever, I would get so nervous when Crabtree would, in my basement right here, I would pace back and forth for like hours, not doing any preparation, just
yeah, he's
freaking
not
out,
like
not. And that's kind of what I figured out. Is like, all right, just prepare, and then you'll kind of have an idea. But like the more you do it, the more you're like not nervous. You just talk. You just. I don't prepare for nothing anymore.
Yeah, Matt's had a lot of
prepare. Just show up drunk and he'll be all right.
Yeah, dude. Tom, the best story though, I'll tell Derek real quick that you told was about Tom Crabtree, right? Where he was like the first person to be nice to you and come on your show, and then he brought you to like what was the show he brought you to?
No, he didn't bring me, but I was at the Dane Cook concert. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
I was at the Dane Cook concert. He was there. We kind of like mentioned on Twitter that we were both at the same place. But his wife didn't show up, so I got to go to the meet and greet with him. He was like, hey, you want to come to the meet and greet, meet Dane Cook? So we just hung out with like Dane Cook or Tom Crabtree in line. And I made the comedians, I didn't mention this before, like their openers. They'd come around and talk to you or whatever. I made them laugh, and I was like, oh, I made comedians laugh.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
cool.
I bet.
Nice. Yeah.
And they're like, and they probably stole my joke, you know what I mean?
It was Dane Cookie did.
It was awesome. Tom Crabtree is absolutely the man. He's the most real dude. He like my son. He let my son DM him and do a school report on him.
Oh
like,
wow, that's awesome.
Like, you can get an A on that thing. You know what I mean? That was pretty cool. I got the connections. You know what I mean?
Did your son get any Tom Crabtree tats? Did your son get any Tom Crabtree tats? Do you tat him himself?
No, he was tight end for like one play. Like I remember one time, like my son was he was a tight end. He caught a pass and he's running down the field, and I'm jumping up. I'm like, "That's my boy!" And I'm like jacked. I never seen my son do anything like athletic like that. But then I realized that he did not see the safety coming down on him, and he just got rocked. That ball flies off the helmets in the air. I just sat down like, let me just shut my hole. And then they put him back on the line. They're like, get back on the offensive line and get out of here.
That's like a super good story, but like your story with Aaron Rodgers is so good. I think you might have to tell Derek again in person, because like I think it might be his favorite story he's ever heard. It's so good.
I mean, if it's Aaron Rodgers getting mad at somebody, that sounds like just right on par, right?
Yeah, Derek.
I was the old ump over there, and
he was the celebrity umpire.
Yeah.
Oh.
They asked me, and they're like, hey, you could just do like you could go live on Instagram and everything. You're gonna want to promote the thing and kind of, I'm not that important, which I didn't think I was. But then the players, like, they saw me as like a real ump. I'm behind second base. So all this stuff happens. I'm just like, Zadarius Smith is next to me. He's fist bumping me, and his fist is like my size of my head. And everything is just so crazy. Like Robert Tonyan, like Josh Jackson is running by, and he's like, Matt Ramage, and he's yelling my name. Like, oh my God, this is like crazy. Yeah. And like, a lot of them like know me from like Instagram, and like even like Kaiser, the quarterback Kaiser, came up to me and he said, I love your IG. And I was like, oh, why don't you follow me though? Anyways, but I didn't ask him that. But like I was cool that they actually kind of, a lot of them like knew who I was. But then all of a sudden, like a play comes in a second, dirt flies, sand, and I'm like, whoa, I'm not even paying attention. And all of a sudden, Aaron Rodgers, everyone's like looking at me. Zadarius Smith, like, what's the call? And I'm like, oh, and I have 50-50 shot being right. And I just blurted out like I think it was out or whatever. And then Aaron Rodgers like, what are you talking about? Yeah. You're blind and all this. And then Devontae Adams coming up and kind of yelling at me. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, this is like so aggressive. And then they kind of stopped. Like 5 minutes later, Aaron Rodgers is still fired up though. He asked me, he's like, are you umping or just hanging out? That's a fair question.
Yeah, you're like, I am just hanging out, but leave me alone. Yeah.
Just hanging out.
He's there for
Ryan
entertainment. He's a celebrity umpire.
He was like, yeah, we were all laughing at you in the dugout. We thought you were going to cry.
I mean, this is such a perfect example. Everyone in the dugout's like just loves Ramage and they're cheering for him and they're laughing their ass off. And Rogers is the only serious one getting pissed off at him in his face.
Yeah, being overly competitive. Yeah.
No, he's competitive. I never took it in any type of way. I think it's a cool story. I got no beef with Rogers. It was the wrong call. Like I was wrong.
Yeah.
But also, you said that you did it because you're afraid of Zaire Za'Darius.
Because dude, there's like massive humans like right next to me who like I'm standing right next to him.
Playing second, he's probably the one that caught the ball, right? And you're like,
so I was like, I'm not going against him. He's pissed about me. Yeah. And Za'Darius Smith's fist is very huge. So I was like, if I'm gonna get beat up by someone, Aaron Rodgers, even in his prime, versus,
I think you made the wise choice.
Yeah. I can take my words, you know what I mean?
Don't get on Za'Darius Smith's bad side. You're good. You're good.
Oh man, that's great.
It's such a great story because, like, it shows the fact that Rodgers is oblivious to that you're this Instagram, influencer guy. He doesn't even care.
Yeah. He definitely didn't care. And I remember telling someone like after the fact, like one of the people that worked there, they kind of like controlled me and told me where to go. And I was like, Rogers yelled at me. He's like, yeah, that'll happen sometimes. He's like, I got no people Rogers.
You're like, welcome to the club. Now Rogers has yelled at you. You can come back.
I mean? And then people messaging me and they're like, I saw Aaron Rodgers yell at you. Are you okay? Like, I just needed comforting.
Yeah, dude.
I just drove home with the radio off, just like
in dead silence. What have I done? Yeah.
Then I had to go to like graduation parties afterward, and it was streaming, so people like watched it. There was clips, and like people were like, I got there, all the dads were like, "Hey, what happened? You got yelled at." We're gonna
Why'd you make that call?
Yes, who these kids? Who cares about this graduation? We need a story.
Yeah. Oh man,
I feel like it's a great idea just to call Rogers out, out even when he's safe. Like I would die laughing so hard just watching.
Dude, you know the cool thing, Devontae Adams actually, because like he posted something about the game or whatever. On his story on Instagram. So I DM'd him and I said, sorry for making that horrible call. And then, because he yelled at me too. He actually responded and he said, all good. It was all in fun. I'm like, yeah, I for one had a blast.
Yeah, I'm having a great time getting yelled at.
Two of the Packer great players of this, era. In my face, like, you're a stupid blind son of a.
We're gonna put betting odds. What do you, Matt? If you had to put odds, okay, Doug, what kind of quiz is it? Like, what is it? Is it Packers?
Mostly Packers quiz. There is one question about the Bears though, because I was just in case Dave was here, I wanted to include him a little bit, right? But because he's the Bears fan.
Yeah. Well,
okay. Are you guys ready for the quiz?
Let's do this.
Dun 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 dun. I do all my. I don't have Vinny here, so I'm just doing vocal voice effects. Do 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 do. That's better, anyways.
That's what I used to do before I had Vinny.
Do 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 do. Question 1 in the Packers quiz. The very first time the Bears and the Packers met, what was the Bears team name?
Ooh, who goes first on this?
What the hell city were they in? It wasn't Chicago. It was the Decatur Staleys.
Yes, correct.
Yep.
Beep.
Right. Yeah, I could not. My memory don't work like that. That's why I'm not good at quizzes. That's why I work at a cheese factory.
Well, it's football knowledge, though. You're king.
Yeah, but I still forget stuff.
Fair enough.
Don't worry. These questions get a little bit easier, slightly. Okay, this is a good one. What Packers player ended the Bears 2013 season with a late touchdown on 4th down from Aaron Rodgers?
Randall Cobb?
Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. 4th and 8.
With the old block there, you know what I mean? Now,
wow. Yeah, he came out in the second half injured in that game and brought us back. That's a classic. That is
classic
game right there. Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, name any Hall of Fame linebacker for the Green Bay Packers.
I got it if you want. Ray Nitschke.
Yeah.
Matt, you can also get a point. There's one other one. that he
There's
played
one other
briefly
one.
for the team, but he also was sort of a D end.
Was it Reggie White?
No, I
No,
think I know.
he's not
He's
a
not a
linebacker.
linebacker, but you're saying
Is
D-end.
Kevin Green in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, but he didn't play for the team.
I thought he played a year for us. Did he just coach for us? Am I
He just
crazy?
coached.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
Julius Peppers
Now
is
you
the
made
other
me
player.
look stupid. Like, I'm not watching this guy.
The other answer would be Julius Peppers. Who
Julius
technically
Peppers
was a
doesn't count as a
linebacker.
linebacker. He's always been a D.
He played linebacker a little bit.
Yeah, I get where you're going. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, these are tough questions. You know what I'm saying?
You know, what I mean, this ain't no amateur show.
This ain't no amateur show.
Real tough Packer questions.
I
We
was
got some
trying to
tough
put-
backer
I was trying to be
questions
nice.
from Dag Hype.
I was trying to show that Julius Peppers, he's a former Bear, but really a Packer. Okay.
Yeah.
Who is the Packers' all-time leading rusher?
All-time leading rusher?
Mm-hmm.
Is it not like I feel like this is a trick question. I feel like that's not where I think it is. That Mont Green? No.
Do.
Is it?
It is
Or is it
Amon Green. He
Yeah, yeah.
barely beat out Jim Taylor by about 1,000 yards.
Okay.
Was
think I
that? Yeah,
remember.
Mont Green was at one time. I think. I think.
No, Amon Green is. You get the point.
go.
It's Amon Green. It was Jim
Matt.
Taylor at 88,200 and Aaron Jones is at 5,900. So there's a big gap after Jim Taylor and Amon Green.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not really known for big running, longevity.
Fantastic.
There we go.
Okay, who is the Packers' all-time leader in receiving yards?
That's easy, dude.
Go ahead.
Donald Driver.
That is correct.
Everybody knows the bald man with his statue in Green Bay is now the all-time leading receiving yard. We saw that statue, and I was like, they kind of did Donald a little bit
Look,
dirty.
Whoever
I
wins
think that was
it-
already a statue before. They kind of just repainted it.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, because it was
Okay.
like there, like on that spot. It was in a different spot for a lot of years. Then
Yeah.
they painted it, kind of put an 80 on there, and kind of so it wasn't like designed for it. If it's the one I'm thinking about,
Yeah,
the one
yeah.
that's kind of by that, it was by the train station
So
there.
it was just like a generic Packer player.
Yeah,
and
it
they
was the
changed
Packer.
it?
It was like I think by the Hall of Fame. It was somewhere else for a long time. I forget exactly
Okay.
where.
I think Ted Hendricks also is a Hall of Fame linebacker, and there's another one too. Anyways, back to the questions. Okay,
All
Derek
right.
winning 3-2. Whoever wins this does win a mac and cheese from Quick Trip. Okay.
All right,
Nice.
I gotta step my game up, bro.
Yeah. Now we're ready.
I didn't
Are we
realize how
taking-
serious this was.
As the game manager, Doug, are we taking turns or just shouting out whoever knows it first? Like, what's the rules?
You
here?
can shout out whoever knows it
Yeah, you
first.
just shut it out.
Okay.
It'd be like the buzzer.
All right. I thought me and Matt were a team, and now we're like competing, but that's fine.
Yeah, now I hate this guy.
It really doesn't matter that much.
I'm just
I
fucking
think-
with you.
Everybody might just win mac and cheese. It doesn't.
Yeah. Hey, learning anything about the Packers is beneficial to us all. So
Yeah,
you
for
know,
real.
this is all good.
Okay, here we go. So, question number 6. What Packers legend is known as the Golden Boy?
Oh, right here, bro.
Yeah.
Paul Hornung.
There you go.
Pointing at a picture does count.
No, this is an autographed helmet. And
He's
it
got
says
an autographed
Golden
helmet.
Boy right on it.
Yeah.
Tom Grassi sent this to me. Actually, I have
Oh, no
a
kidding.
case for this because it's starting to get dusty. I'm in my basement. So I'm gonna put it behind a case. But there you go.
Yep.
And I respect that he like didn't see, he could have cut me off because I was all like dot 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 stuttering and stuff. But
Yeah.
let me have it.
This question, this is a super hard question.
Oh, okay, I'll let him know this one.
What Bears quarterback threw a pick 6 to BJ Raji in the 2010 NFC Championship game?
Oh, I know that one.
Yeah.
Sexy
And-
Rexy, man.
It
Rex
was not.
Grossman.
No,
it was not Rex
hurt.
Grossman? Oh,
No,
that's
because
right.
it was
This
it
is
started with H,
2010.
right? Started with H.
And it's 2010, and it was not Jay Cutler.
There was an H, and then it was a backup.
You're correct. He's on the right track.
Huber?
Nope.
That's as close as I'm getting. It's started with H.
I think I got to give it to Matt. It is the guy that is Caleb Henney. He did start with an
Yeah.
A.
Caleb Henney.
Matt gets,
Wow.
Matt gets a half a point, and that half a point. And Matt, Matt, congratulations! You have won the Packers quiz challenge.
That's
job,
like
Matt.
to win a quiz show. And your last answer was, it starts with an H.
Yeah.
This is Jeopardy. I can make up
Well,
Real
whatever.
close enough.
Hardcore
Get
rules
this
here.
guy the
Eddie
hell
got
out
it
of
in the
here.
comments. Eddie got it in the comments too. I should have said people in the comments could also win some mac and cheese. But yeah, congratulations, Matt. Like I knew when I said that you can win mac and cheese, then all of a sudden he's just left and right popping out answers.
I want to thank all my supporters and everyone. Everyone who
And
never
my
gave
Paul
up
Horning
on me
helmet.
and knew that I could eat 2 family-sized mac and cheese that one sit-in. I don't care what you thought.
If anybody hasn't seen the Quick Trip reality series starring Matt, you should go watch it because they compete to make Quick Trip food for him, and it does involve mac and cheese.
That was a good time right there. Shout out to Quick Trip. You know what I mean? Look at dude. How many words a minute can you type?
I don't know.
I jumped on the stream earlier, like before we went live, and he's just hammering away. He sounds like my wife works from home, and I go talk to her, and she'll be like down there just hammering around the novel. I'm like, what are you writing? Are you writing? Are you writing your life story? Like, what's going on?
I was preparing this amazing, super difficult quiz that you guys just, like
if you jump on a stream and I'm typing, you're gonna see a lot of this.
Yeah, just like one at a time.
Like, yeah, he's over here just typing around like he's just like,
Vinny, you got Vinny helping you, you know?
Yeah, I don't need to be learning how to type all the time.
Yeah, Vinny's helping you. And we did the live stream yesterday of the Brewers watch party, which was fun, and they smashed the Cardinals.
Yeah, that was good.
It was a good time.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want someone who never doesn't know anything about baseball to do Brewers watch parties.
Yeah, but Matt was doing the play-by-play, and it was great because I couldn't watch the game because I'm in Colorado. So Matt was just doing play-by-play. It was good.
And that's what it is. Right. You got one guy doing the watch party who doesn't really know a lot about baseball, not its number one sport. Then you have the person doing the live stream with him who's not even watching the game. Can't even see it. That's what you want. That's the good stuff.
Now, we've completed all of our basic goals of like reviewing Matt Ramage's glorious past as a Packers man of the people. You know what I mean? From softball games to Tom Crabtree and all kinds of celebrities and all the things of being man of the people. And then the Packers quiz. But now let's talk about the Packers upcoming season. How about let's do that? The future.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
Okay, Matt, getting congrats from the community. Thanks for chiming in, everybody.
Yeah, Phil's here. We got a lot of viewers across the old Packers sphere.
Yeah. So, let's talk about the Packers because there's a lot going on.
Derek, do you have any questions? What topic would you like to talk about with the Packers upcoming season?
I want you guys. Okay, I would like us to discuss who we think is going to have the best season as far as wide receivers go for the Green Bay Packers. And I will include Tucker Kraft in that.
Yeah.
As a receiver, who's going to have the best season this year? Because Dobbs is gone. Tucker's coming off an injury. Watson's been great, but inconsistent. Same with Reed, great, but inconsistent when he's healthy. And Golden's just kind of working his way into the offense. So what do you guys feel like the next guy to take the mantle is for this wide receiver group?
I think it's Tucker Kraft, but I don't think you want Tucker Kraft being your number one wide receiver either.
I agree.
Or a pass catcher. You want him to be up there or whatever because you want him to be like that top type of tight end, and I think he can be that top tight end in the league. But you got to have one of these other guys like Watson, gotta kind of get like an injury free season, and just use them right too. I'm a big Matt LaFleur guy. But sometimes the play calling, confuses me or whatever. And I think, I work at Cheese Factory for a reason. But we need to get the play calling, the whole offense. You talked about it earlier about the identity of what this offense is going to be, and they have to figure this thing out because you have the weapons. We're going to see what happens at running back with a real serious situation. But as far as the passing game goes, Tucker Kraft has to be part of it. We're just
I think
when
so.
he comes back.
I'm kind of with you, Matt. I would be comfortable if Tucker Kraft led us in yards because his yak is so good and he tends.
Well,
to
he did last year until he got hurt.
Yeah, deeper down the field. But as far as targets go, I would honestly like to see Jaden Reed get a little bit more.
That's gonna be my answer.
But I think Jaden Reed is really talented. He stresses me out because he still drops here and there, and it seems like he's inconsistent, but. He has games where you can tell the guy's up for it. You can tell he wants to be in there making big plays. You can tell he kind of has this mojo about him, and I just want to see him take off because.
Do you think he's going to be the possession receiver this year? Is going to be Reed?
I think it's going to be between him, Kraft, and Golden, and that's kind of why I asked the question. Is like Dobbs was mostly the go-to guy last year because he had a good rapport with Jordan Love, and he's been healthy roughly for 3 straight years. So him and Jordan Love have had plenty of time to play together. I don't know if Watson is a possession receiver, and I think Reed and Golden should be. But I just wonder how LaFleur is going to use them. Like, I wonder what this offense is going to look like on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, when Jordan Love needs his go-to guy. Because he's gone to Reed a couple times. He went to Golden more at the end of the season. But I think Reed fits for me as like a target receiver. Watson is like a big play receiver, and Golden is kind of the everything, find an open space kind of first down wide receiver. So I want to see Reed really take a step up this year. Because we just signed him to that new contract too, right, guys? Which was very team friendly. I feel like a very team friendly contract. So I want to see him get paid too. I want to see him have 2 good years, and then maybe he can renegotiate after. Okay. So on that, Matt, how do you feel about them letting Romeo Doubs go? Did you want to re-sign him? Are you okay that he left for the money that he got in New England? How do you feel about it?
I liked Romeo Doubs a lot, but I feel like he didn't want to be here. I feel like he was good. Like whatever LaFleur kind of talked about guys not liking their assignments as well. I wonder if that was Wicks and Romeo Doubs. I like Romeo Doubs as a player and as a person. Like he seemed like a good dude. He wasn't like all diva-ish, even though some people kind of gave him that label because of some of the stuff that happened. But I think he'd been good to keep, but not if he wanted to flourish and just get out, whatever reason. That he did. I'm not confident that he wanted to be here, but I think and if they have a plan, that's all about it. Like Matthew Golden obviously didn't get a lot of touches as many as people thought in his rookie year. If they got a plan, they're gonna let Romeo Doubs go, but they know like where those targets are gonna go, and people got to start catching balls. Though we have to stop this whole like being known as like droppy droppersons over here. You know what I mean? Just
I feel like we got better last year. It wasn't perfect. Reed had that drop against the Bears that still hurts my feelings today. And I think
is what it is.
I think we the offensive show, but thanks for the shout back. But I think that's why we drafted Golden, because Golden may not be the tallest. He may not be the most physically imposing. In fact, he doesn't necessarily fit the typical Packers wide receiver mold. But you know what he does do? He catches every goddamn ball you throw to him. And I think the Packers, Goody just realized that, like, dude, we got to get a guy that just gets his hands on the ball and doesn't ever drop it. And I think that's what Golden does. So I'm really hoping that we start out with Reed and Kraft and Tucker. Reed and Watson and Kraft and Tucker just killing it. But I want Golden to establish himself as that 3rd down wide receiver, and then eventually maybe become our true wide receiver 1, because I have not seen that dude drop a ball. I've seen him make some good catches, and when he does have the ball in his hands, he can be very electric. So I think we need to feed him, but like, I wonder how slowly he'll be integrated into the offense too. I'm kind of hoping it's not. He's had a whole year. We let Dobbs go. Dude. Like, I think from day one, he should be getting 6 or 7 targets like a game is what I want to see for Golden.
One of those bulls just waiting when they pick up the fence. Let him roll, baby.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, dude, especially, I don't know if it's just like the universe telling Matt LaFleur something, but like, we need to throw the damn ball 35 times a game, maybe 40 times a game, and run it about 20 to 25. Not this.
And let Jordan Love be Jordan Love. Don't.
Yes. He's elite. Would you agree that, Matt, that Jordan Love's an elite
give
quarterback?
Him the reins. Let him make his choices. Sink or swim with Jordan Love. I've been saying since the beginning. Jordan Love is that dude.
Yep.
Now we talked about earlier about the numbers and whatnot, but people for some reason, I think it's because he's following Aaron Rodgers. It's hard if you're not like Aaron Rodgers followed Favre, and then at first, everyone's like, oh, he's not going to be this, going to be that, and then they saw it. All right, this guy's all right. I think that the expectations are so high for Jordan Love, but he's done it. And if he didn't have a bunch of injuries last year, Micah Parsons didn't go down. Just Micah Parsons, Wyatt, and Kraft don't go down last season. I think that last season ends a whole different way.
Yeah, we'll probably win that division, I would imagine.
Yeah,
But
not saying it's a guaranteed Super Bowl, but like it's different, and I just feel like Jordan Love gets some kind of weird hate.
I think Jordan Love kind of flies under the radar, and I don't know if that's because he learned that from Rodgers, but like if you watch Jordan Love, this is the thing I'll say about Jordan Love. Like you watch these highlights from Caleb or these highlights from Mahomes or these other quarterbacks that make these crazy throws and ridiculous plays, and it's like everybody gets hyped up, but it's like they're in 3rd and 14 because you just missed a crosser by 4 yards.
Yeah, you don't want
You screwed that up. Jordan Love doesn't really screw anything up, and he's just cool as a cucumber all the time. It's almost like he's not exciting, and the media forgets to hype him up because he's not screwing something up and then having to fix it a lot.
Yelling at everyone.
Yeah. Like he's so chill and so good, but he's like the silent killer. Like if you look at his 4th quarter stats, if you look at his game-winning drive stats, his 3rd down stats, in crunch time, in high-pressure situations, Jordan Love is just as good, if not better, than the majority of these guys in the league, but he's not doing it with this crazy excitement that they have.
And his O-line was kind of bad last year. So
well, I think that's part of it, but I think he just reads the defense
of
better.
Like what you see,
cool.
like the clips, like you see, like Brady's yelling at, not to compare anyone to Brady, but like, that's what they want. Like even like Russell Wilson, like yelling at people, kind of like doing the whole thing. Manning back in the day, you'd be yelling at Jeff Saturday. Like Jordan Love, that's just not what he does. But even Aaron Rodgers early in his career, not to compare Jordan Love to any of these guys, but I'm just saying is like you earlier in your career, I feel like you're more modest, you lead by example. You're not, not everyone's all the same type of leader. But I think that the guys, as long as they respect him and they listen, they follow. Yeah. Doesn't matter what type of leader, you don't have to.
No, I like the way he is. I just think it doesn't translate into like media hype.
Oh yeah, and like, no one really wants to give him that.
Well, I think he had just as many highlights as other quarterbacks, but it was like in the 2nd, 3rd quarter, and then our problem was that in the 4th quarter, sometimes our offense just kind of sputtered. They, especially like in a 2-minute drill, and
last season confusion.
Was brutal, no, we were top 5. We were top 5 in 4th quarter scoring in the NFL. We were fantastic. Yeah, the problem is our defense was allowing the 2nd most points in the 4th quarter. Yeah. So we had to freaking, we had a lead and then we'd lose it. And then Jordan Love would take the lead and then we'd lose it. And then he'd take the lead again a lot of times. And then sometimes we wouldn't. And it's like, oh, Jordan Love didn't do it. It's like, bro, he threw 4 goddamn touchdowns. And we gave up 24 points.
Thing, they talk about this playoff shit stuff. And Jordan Love threw 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in a playoff loss. Like, and then they're like, well, and people are trashing because they lost in playoffs. Like he threw 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. The rest of the team has to pick up the slack. You can't lose that game. If your quarterback throws 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, I don't care what happened that game. You should win that game.
And if McManus wasn't total trash and lose 7 points, like, Jordan Love puts up 35, 36 points in that game, right? So like, if not closer to 40. So Jordan Love was not the problem at all in the season or in the game. So yeah, I want LaFleur to embrace the fact that we live and die with Jordan Love, and this is the season to do it.
And this is it. And I feel like a lot's on the line this year for LaFleur as well.
I think so too.
Like they kind of secured him, but also if this year is is crazy bad, like there's no telling like what will happen. But this would have been like this team.
Yeah, I'm not saying LaFleur should have got fired. I don't know if Doug has told you, but I'm a bit of a LaFleur hater. Just a teeny bit.
You didn't tell me.
Yeah, a little bit of a LaFleur hater because he reminds me too much of Marty Schottenheimer. And I just hate the way he coaches conservatively in the playoffs. However, I think he earned the contract. I think he has proven he's a very good coach. But even though he signed this new contract, I don't think he's guaranteed to keep his job in the next 2 years if he doesn't win more than 1 playoff game, because he's never won more than 1 playoff game in the playoffs. And as a Packers coach, I'm sorry, you can have 900 regular season wins. If you don't win a Super Bowl, get out of here. Like I want to win a Super Bowl.
I think we're kind of similar, but I'm more on the LaFleur backer way, but I also feel the same way. Like, I'm glad he got the contract. I think LaFleur is a good coach, but like I don't love everything that he does. I think he made some mistakes. They all gas, no breaks. It's a good slogan for a t-shirt, but like
Yeah.
we need to like actually live it. You know what I mean? And I also feel like they gave him that contract and they kind of gave him that confidence, say, hey, you're the guy. But like if it doesn't work out and there's not a bunch of catastrophic injuries, they're gonna start to look and be like, hey, what's going on over here? We should be better than this. We went all in, all in ish, kind of getting Micah Parsons, doing that trade, kind of that not the Packer way. And now they're gonna expect stuff. But I do like Matt LaFleur. I do think Matt LaFleur is a good coach, but I also don't think he's all perfect.
I think he's got some stuff to work on. And it worries me that in year 7, he's coming out and saying guys didn't like their role and things like that. It's like, bro, you need to have that on lockdown by now. Like, I know it's not perfect. Like, it's not a perfect world, but it makes me a little concerned too. I don't know if you guys read into the NFLPA like grades when they grade the stadium and the family stuff. Dude, Matt LaFleur's coaching grade has gone down 3 years in a row. And like the assistant coaches, the highest obviously was Halfley, but the assistant coaches got low grades. Like that's just a bad sign, dude. And that's not a couple bad apples. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's an overall like arching. I think.
Oh yeah, I definitely think that's not a sign when the whole coaching situation is like those grades, because it's not just players like if you have a couple players like kind of like they don't like how things are going, but the majority is. But yeah, it's kind of shown that the majority don't love everything that's going on over there.
Yeah. All right. So we'll get off of that because I could talk about my Matt LaFleur feelings all day. But let's answer this question. Do you guys think Golden will be another Randall Cobb? I have an answer to that. So, Matt, you go first. What do you think?
I think it'll be another Randall Cobb. No, I don't think so. I think Randall Cobb, I kind of feel like when Randall Cobb was popping up, I feel like McCarthy tried to use him a lot. Finley was in there back in the day. I'm trying to remember. But I feel like Randall Cobb was good and he had his uses, but I feel like early on they were trying to like make him like a gadget type of guy. Right. I don't feel like Matthew Golden is that type of player. I feel like they're gonna try to give him kind of be that possession receiver. You got Watson's gonna go deep every single time. You got people in the roles. I feel like Matthew Golden could is the kind of a guy that they want to play all the positions. I feel like Randall Cobb was kind of like that slot type of guy.
I agree. To me, Randall Cobb was a high 3, like a high 3rd receiver or a low 2nd receiver. Like if Randall Cobb's your 2nd receiver, you're like, maybe we could do a little better. And that's no slight against Randall Cobb. I love him. But like he's a pure slot guy. I think Golden's ceiling is like maybe a low 1 or at the very least a high 2. Because he's not physically imposing and huge, but there are guys in the league that have been his size that have been very successful. So I'm hoping he becomes like an 80 to 95 catch guy in the future. And Randall was never really that guy, partially because of injuries, but also I just think
and even when they tried, like when they had injuries and stuff, you had guys started moving up. You're like, they're not as good in those bigger roles. I think Randall Cobb was like, he was a slot guy. He was a good, and I love Randall Cobb. I think Randall Cobb, he's one of the guys that you talk about, people talking about like this era, not just era, but whatever. The era he was in, everyone loves Randall Cobb.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't like that number 1 type of
right. And I'm hoping Golden has some of that. All right. I want to switch it up. I got one more question for you, Matt. Okay, we all know Micah is the heartbeat of the defense, right? But we've got some veterans out there. We've got some other guys that are going to be in new positions. With Gannon's defense coming in, I know it's kind of like a crapshoot of what to expect, but who do you expect to be, outside of Micah, the second most important player on defense this year? Who do you think that is?
Yeah, that's a really good question. You know what I mean? I feel like when Wyatt went out, I feel like that was very important. I think as important as Micah. I feel like, maybe not as, but like once that, I'm not sure he's the guy, you know what I mean? But like that was a huge injury. I think the secondary, I think you got to think about someone in the secondary, like Wyatt over here, maybe I should have stuck with that. But I feel like Wyatt was so important because I think that once you, especially like losing a rusher and then losing the nose, like that's hard. It kind of makes your defense kind of weak right there. But I think it has to be someone in the secondary because we need someone in the secondary to stand up and shut down like top wide receivers. So who's that guy in the secondary that you think can shut down like top wide receivers?
Oh, we don't have one. So, but we don't have one. But we
So
do
if
have.
we get one, that's the guy.
Yeah. Well, I think X is a top 3 free safety in the
Yeah, any
NFL.
safety situations.
But I think if we're just going to play this drop 3 or cover 3, cover 4 defense, like he's not going to get a lot of plays. So if for me, and Gannon doesn't blitz a lot, like almost ever, which kind of worries me a little bit because I love defensive coaches that blitz. But like Edge Cooper to me is such a talent that can rush the quarterback, that can cover, that can go over the whole field. I feel like last year was a bit of a disappointment from Edgerrin, and I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm just saying like I didn't see a lot of big plays from him, and I'm hoping this year that changes. I hope we get more big plays from Edgerrin Cooper. I hope they let him blitz up the middle, because especially if you're playing 3-4 and you've got those two middle backers, right? Those two Mikes, and one can go drop and one can rush and or one can cover the flat or just do something a little different. I'm hoping that Gannon uses that to his advantage and Cooper gets, I don't know, a couple more big plays. That's kind of what I'm hoping is Edge takes a step up. And I think Zaire is going to teach him a lot about the position and things to look for. And I think getting another veteran in at that Mike position is going to be really good for Edgerrin Cooper, because he's playing it with Hopper, who's a young kid, with McDuffie, who's, kind of a year older than him and just plays a different style, So I think there was another reason why we traded for another backer, is we needed some more NFL experience up in the middle. And I think that's going to benefit Edgerrin Cooper a lot. So I'm hoping it's him. Hype,
yeah,
what about you?
He definitely has the tools. Yeah, I'm not a big fan either of like the lack of blitzing and just kind of, it kind of gives you a reminiscence of former defenses. Kind of had some
Joe Barry
defense. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that, dude, I'll have flashbacks. I'll wake up tomorrow morning, 1 a.m. Joe Barry.
Okay, so our cornerbacks, even though we have some young guys coming in that might be promising or something this year, though, I think we can't really rely on cornerback being some amazing position. So what I vision this defense doing to be a really good defense is Hargrave is going to be a big upgrade on the defensive line. We're actually going to get some pass rush other than Micah Parsons, and that's going to allow people like X and Evan Williams to do crazy stuff, play jokers, play some zone, get some interceptions, or maybe bringing up Evan Williams to do more blitzes and stuff, and then just totally just stomping out the quarterback, because the offense never had to worry about anything. As long as, especially when Micah was out, but even when he was in, they'd be like, okay, let's double, triple team Micah. We don't even have to worry about any other pass rushers whatsoever, right? Hargrave still graded out as a good pass rusher last year, and maybe DDS and those guys can add some pressure too. But if we can get pressure up the middle on pass rush, we haven't had that in a long time,
dude. And then you got to you look at all the Super Bowls with the Giants and Patriots. How did those games win? It's because you got in their face. You got in Brady's face. You get in these great quarterbacks' face. It doesn't matter what level quarterback you are. If you get up the middle, you're a problem. Unless you're a running type of quarterback and you kind of flex, kind of outside the pocket. But getting in anyone's face is good. It's huge. You got to do it.
Eddie thinks Josh Sweat's coming to the Packers. That's another rumor that everybody likes to talk about.
Oh, really? Josh Sweat from the Cardinals?
Because he's made it known he doesn't want to be on the Cardinals anymore, so they think
who does? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but what's his contract though?
Who has ever wanted to be on the Cardinals?
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do with that guy. And honestly, dude, I'm not that worried about. I'm less worried about pass rush than I think other people are, because I think Brandon Sorrell is gonna show us a little bit of something. Yeah. I still think Van Ness has some talent, even though I don't think he's a great pass rusher.
I think he'll be okay.
But I do think that with Micah, I think on the field with him, I think Van Ness because I feel like him getting injured wasn't just on the field; it was even in practice. The helping out. I feel like a guy like Van Ness having Micah there. Micah said, "I'll make him into a superstar." At one point, I think he said that. That's a quote I read somewhere. But I feel like with him on the practice field with him, I think it does elevate him. We're gonna see what that does.
Van Ness is doing okay, but he just doesn't have any pass rush moves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just relies on athleticism.
Give him some. You know what I mean?
And so,
we love drafting first round defensive ends with no pass rush moves. That's our go-to.
They'll get him later. We'll get him later.
We'll teach
Josh
him how to
Sweat-
rush the passer later. They're
Josh
nice and
Sweat
big,
is
though.
$19 million a year. So he's not expensive, but he's not cheap. 19, 18.
Yeah.
Oh, actually 18 million a year is what he would be getting paid.
That's what I make at the cheese factory.
Yeah.
So
So it's cheese factory.
That's all they pay. 18 million. My goodness.
But that is before taxes.
And
you
he's
know
a
what
guy
I mean?
that gets 11, 12 sacks a year and, pretty good pass rusher.
All right. Next question, guys. Rookie kicker. Are we worried? Are we just happy McManus is out of the building? Should we have kept him? Should we have done a
Well,
camp?
they can always, if all of a sudden he's terrible, they can always pick up another kicker. There's always guys that are like McManus. I mean, because if you consider McManus was so bad in the playoffs, you can pick up a guy off the street that's going to do the same thing.
Bears legend Brandon McManus.
Well, when you have a kicker like McManus, like that kind of butched in playoff situations, like it's tough to like give him another shot because like if it happens again, like that's a lot of pressure for like everyone making the decisions. Like, yo, bro, we already seen this movie. You can't have it happen again. Like if they would have went into the playoffs, McManus had an iffy year, and then in the playoffs he butches one. Like everyone's like, what are we doing here? So they obviously like know this young kid, this kicker that they drafted. Obviously, to draft a kicker like that. I'm just more like, dude, just kind of like hoping a prayer. You know what I mean? Like, like I hope, but like I don't know. We're gonna find out.
I mean, this isn't the same as like Anders Carlson, who was like the 5th or 6th best kicker. And to be honest, a lot of people were surprised we even drafted him and didn't just sign him as a like rookie free agent. Smack was the best kicker in college last year. He's been a really good kicker for 3 years. And by most metrics, McManus was one of the worst, if not the worst kickers in the NFL last year. So to me, it's like, even if Smack is terrible, we're not really losing that much. Do you know what I mean? And the chances of him being terrible based on 3 years of him kicking in college being excellent all 3 years, I feel like even if he has a bad year, I really hope they stick with the kid for at least 2 years, because I think this guy is a legit NFL kicker. But again, for them, it's all up here. And there's no way to really know what that looks like until they're in the game situation. You know what I mean? So, but I'm pretty excited for Trey Smack. I am pretty excited for Trey Smack, if I'm being honest. So I don't know. It gives me Mason Crosby vibes. Just saying. Remember
There
we
we go.
picked Mason
I like it.
Colorado?
I'm all about the positivity.
Yeah.
I think
what else we got?
okay, here's my question. The Packers defense, regardless of defensive, Matt, to win it for a potty break.
Yeah, I guess
The Packers defense, regardless of defensive coordinator, has been kind of the same the last 10, 15 years, right? Like when Mike was on the field, it did spike us up a bit. But if when he was off the field, we were back to being like not a good defense. I would say
since year 3 of LaFleur, we've pretty much run the same defense every single year for the last 4 years, which is 1 year under Joe Barry, 2 years under Joe Barry, and then 2 years under Halfley. And now it seems like he brought in Gannon because Gannon runs that same defense. LaFleur likes to keep everything in front of him, not allow big plays, hopefully get to the quarterback, hopefully create turnovers. But this is the thing that I keep saying about these drop defenses, that like they're not really good at creating turnovers because they allow quarterbacks to get comfortable and they allow quarterbacks to read the defense a lot easier, as opposed to when you're switching things up. Now, inversely, they can work really well if the quarterback's already having a bad day and they just can't find the gaps right in the defense, or if you're getting everything's easy when you have a great pass rush with 4 players. When you can get a great pass rush with your front 4 on defense, like what you're calling as far as coverage goes is much less important than that 4-man rush. So I wonder what Gannon's going to do with Hargrave, because like Doug said, Hargrave's pass rush grade was really good last year, but he was in the Vikings defense. Their D tackles are more there to hold the point of attack and to try to grab 2 of the offensive linemen, because they want to blitz backers on the outside, or they want to blitz a guy, because they blitz all the time. They blitz, I think, the second most or the most in the NFL. So D tackles are just there holding the point of attack. They don't really get to go after the quarterback, which is, I think, why Hargraves left, and he was excited to come play for Gannon again, because Gannon is heavily reliant on those D tackles getting pressure up the middle. So I don't know. I wonder what our front 4 is going to look like at the end of the day, or a front five, whatever you want to call it in this.
I think, well, okay, so there's the question for Matt. Matt is back here now. Is Matt frozen?
No, I'm here.
Okay, you're just very silent. You're just very salient. You're very statuesque. Yeah. So Matt, do you think that we can expect the Packers defense to be kind of the same old thing? Because it's been kind of the same for the past like 10 or so years. You know what I mean? Like the bend don't break defense. Is that what you expect Gannon to be doing?
Yeah, it kind of seems like kind of like what he does. I don't like it. The whole bend don't break. I hope not, and I hope that like the players kind of bring an attitude that kind of like kind of like changes that. But it seems like the whole style. I don't like the whole when everyone talks about the style of Gannon, like his defense. I'm not a fan of it, but hopefully it's not what it appears to be. We need players to get fired up. We need players to have fun. We need players to like get some takeaways and just get after the ball and make some tackles. And
this was a leading question.
Stay healthy.
I have an exciting follow-up question for this. This is the real question. So there's reports that the Vikings #1 draft pick, Caleb Banks, has a giant gold chain with like a bank on it that opens up and there's gold bars inside. It's like a whole thing.
I have one of those.
The question is, who on the Packers is the most likely to yank a chain, just to go up to him and just be like, yank it right off his neck?
Tucker Kraft. I mean, he's not. He's not like, like who was that like for the Lions when he cussed someone out? Who's like, you're a big old, he's like calling them names.
I don't remember that. I don't remember.
Oh, you're talking about the Lions safety, Jenkins or whatever.
He called him Lions. He's like, quit being a pussy.
Yeah. Because the guy would always go at tight end's knees and try to injure him and take their knees out. So Tucker Kraft walked up to a sideline. He's like, you want to be tough guy? He's like, how about you come at me? And the guy like ran off and like hid.
Yeah. I think, but he got a touchdown and he celebrated. He
right in his face.
And he's like, yeah, you effing this and that kind of like.
Oh, yeah. I kind of remember that.
Yeah.
I could see Tucker doing that. I could see Javon Bullard getting in somebody's face.
Yeah.
I can see Zaire Franklin getting in somebody's face. I want our offensive lineman to get in somebody's face this year and play.
Yeah, offensive line for sure. Like protect Jordan Love. And I do like the defense having that mentality of like, I feel like we had that mentality at the beginning part of the year when Micah Parsons was there. When he got hurt, it was just gone. You know what I mean? And your defense has to have that nastiness, have that that Ravens, the 2000 Ravens attitude. I'm not saying like going to compare them to that defense, but like I think I always look back at that defense like they were like no one's good as us. Kind of and then all that running down the field, when you get a turnover and they're all doing like the fake pitchers in the end zone. I feel like that's good because it means the defense is like. They're enjoying it. They're like, that's what they do. They're not shocked by it. Like, I feel like you need to have that like persona of just being nasty on defense.
Eddie thinks we should be doing a 3 high safety look, which is probably what we might do a little bit this year.
If we have Bullard in there a lot, then because he's basically the nickel playing the safety position, and then we're just playing the 2 cornerbacks like right up front, trying to cover flats, right? Which in today's NFL, with all the crossers and things like that, that's not a bad system, but it can be a bad system allowing like easy chunk plays of 7, 8, 9 yards, depending on where the gaps are in the defense, right? So, and to be fair, like I don't like this defense, but the Packers have been like, I think they were 11th or 12th in points allowed last year. They were 7th the year before, and I think the year before that they were right around 10. So they're around the 10th most points allowed. But as Packer fans watching the game, we know why that is. It's not because like we're suffocating people. It's because the Packers are draining the clock. Like these teams are taking 12-yard drive or 12-play drives, and then we're draining the clock, and then it's halftime, and they've had 2 possessions and we've had 2 possessions.
Yeah.
And it's like they can only score so many points if they've only got 5 or 6 possessions a game. And if you actually looked at the stats last year, I think we were 4th or 5th from the bottom in total offensive possessions. Now think about that. Like with Jordan Love, with these weapons, with this offense, with us finishing, I think 13th or 14th in points scored, we were bottom third of the league in total possessions. And so I guess my question is, our defense is what it is. Can we lean into the offense winning us football games again? Because I feel like that's what the Packers should be. I feel like that's how we've built the team. I feel like the majority of the talent is in Jordan Love and him running the offense. So I just want to, I don't mind winning 42-35. Matt LaFleur wants to win 17-10 every single week, and I'm not here for it.
Oh yeah, I'm actually with that. Is like I feel like you either have to have like this lightning fast offense and like a whatever defense, or you need to have like a top defense.
Yeah,
if you're gonna have like this mediocre offense. I feel like like you're saying, let Jordan Love do what he wants. Let him make the audibles. Let him change stuff up. Let him have fun. You got the weapons. You got Tucker Kraft. You got Matthew Golden. You got all the dudes. Just go out there and sling that thing. Let Jordan Love sling it. And then if he proves that he can't do it, which I don't think that is the case, but I feel like the Packers offense, the Packers team in general is better.
I think so too. I think more possessions gets us more wins. And, maybe I'm biased because last year at the end of the year when we lost 5 in a row, we were allowing a lot of points on defense and playing catch up and still not winning. But I think that's more just because I think the Packers were broken, dude. Like after Tucker went down, that hurt really bad. Wyatt went down, that hurt. And then when Parsons went down, everybody was just like, come on, like what's going on? Like you could see, I think we all felt it too. When Micah's leg went out in that Denver game, like just part of me like sunk. And I was just like, dude, come on. Like what is going on this year? So I'm hoping that fire comes back and they play like they did in the first half of the season, not the second half of the season on defense. But I still want to see more possessions for Jordan Love. I really want to see more possessions for Jordan Love. And I'm gonna put this up there because whenever our great fans agree with me, we definitely should put that on the screen. So Matt, go get a beer.
Matt's gonna get a beer. Here's some fun news. I brought this up, I think, yesterday on the show. Sturdivant, OTA started. Okay, so it was now Sturdivant, the wide receiver, the undrafted guy. He's wearing Dobbs number 87 in practice, and he's a big body guy. And who knows what he could turn into.
He is a big body guy.
He's gonna play. This is the thing. Him and the other guy, the cornerback they got late. Like I think they both are gonna be special teams guys for sure because they were good at special teams in college. Sturdivant's a really good gunner, apparently. There he is.
Yep.
Yeah, you did the longest stream ever. What are we doing over here?
Yeah, we are. We have been here
breaks, like 4 beer breaks. What are we doing?
Yep. We're just talking as much.
We're accommodating the Packer fandom.
Yep. Yep. All right, and I got one more question before we let Matt go. Matt, thank you so much for coming on the show. Dude.
No, I appreciate it. Hey, Paul, I like talking to you. You're good stuff. Doug's
thanks, brother. I appreciate you, man. Okay, this is my final question. So, were the Bears a fluke last year? This is a Bears question. Were the Bears a fluke last year, or do you expect them to challenge us for the division this year?
See, that's a solid question. Thing is like, were they a fluke? I don't think that they were a fluke, but like they're not consistent. Like they got, I wouldn't say lucky because I don't like to use the word lucky because Packers have a lot of those wins at the end of the game, ugly wins. Remember back when Aaron Rodgers was playing and people like those were ugly wins. Like you win or you lose, right?
Yeah.
No, but can you consistently do that at the end of the game? I don't think that's sustainable. So I feel like if Caleb Williams doesn't up his completion percentage and like get those middle of the those second and whatever 6 and then kind of get a consistent offense going down the field, I feel like the Bears they can't maintain that when in the division. They need their offense to like go down the field and not have all these heroics at the end of the game because that's not always going to work.
It's not. And Caleb, I think I said this to Dave, who's also on our show, couldn't make it tonight, who's a Bears fan. Like you watch Caleb in college the year he won the Heisman, he was doing that, making those crazy throws. Things were working out. It looked amazing. They're like, he's the greatest thing that's ever been in college, basically.
Yeah.
And then the next year, it didn't work out that way. And the next year, it didn't work out that way. And then last year, he had a year like that where, maybe his numbers weren't great, but he had some magic, right? Yeah. Magic's great. And like, I would love some of that. We do have some of that in Love. It's a little more understated, but like magic isn't consistent, like you were saying. It's not consistent. And so I think the Bears are going to be a better football team with 8 wins this year. That's how I see the Chicago Bears. I think they're going to be a better football team than they were last year. They're going to be more consistent. They're going to score more points. but they're not going to get as many late game wins, and they're not going to get 37 damn turnovers again, because that's crazy that they had that many.
Yeah,
like that's just insane. Yeah, that's an insane amount. And so, yeah, I don't think they're going to challenge us for the division, but I do worry about Ben Johnson like the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that, because he Ben Johnson to me is the real deal, and he kind of scares me.
I would like if I was the Bears, if I was Ben Johnson, I would try to find like I would hire a crew of quarterback coaches to try to work with Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams has like, you know, all that like, you know, breakdown tools. Like he can kind of get that ball, like, you know, he can scramble, he can make the dudes miss, he can eat it down the field. But you just got to clean up that middle ground. And if they do that, and who knows, he might. And if he does, he'll be a scary player. But I just feel like so far he hasn't really scared me. There's been games where I've watched the Bears. I'm like, all right, Caleb Williams is gonna be a problem, and he's very, very young yet. So if they can kind of clean up that middle ground stuff, I think. But the Bears haven't really shown that they can do that. The Bears are really like, you know, Justin Fields kind of had his moments. I don't think Caleb Williams and Justin Fields is a fair comparison over there, even though I don't think Justin Fields had a fair shot in Chicago because the pressure is so high. Whenever they draft these guys high, like they're so quick to get rid of the quarterback, get a new coach. They were just like on this recycle mode. And I think now they're off that. They got a good coach. Even though I don't like the guy, I think he's a prick. But I think he's a good coach. But yeah, they just got to get consistent play out of the quarterback. And if they figure that out, because I don't think Caleb Williams is a bum.
No, me neither. Not at all. I think
he just needs he fixed a few things.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say you can't have like the even like Aaron Rodgers back in the day when they would talk about this about, you know, like kind of the superhero time.
Yeah.
You know, end of the game, he would just start eating this thing, and people would expect it. When it didn't work out, then everyone's all bummed out about it. But like you can't expect superhero ball all the time and
you
win
can't.
like that.
So okay, now on that note, let's talk about another division rival. Does Kyler Murray going to the Vikings do anything for you? Does it make you happy? Does it make you worried? Like, do you feel anything about the Kyler Murray signing in Minnesota?
Kyler Murray, the thing is like I don't really care about him. I don't care who the quarterback is in Minnesota because I feel like you know, we'll see. But the thing about it is they have weapons in Minnesota. They have very wide receivers, Addison, and obviously the big dog over there. I don't like to say his name because he scares me a little bit, but he Justin Jefferson can make any quarterback like up their level, kind of look good. But like, can he be consistent? Like, can any quarterback like it's not Madden, where you can just drop any quarterback and this number says this quarterback catches this and that, or this wide receiver, but it does help a lot when you have
seeing Bullard in 7 is weird, by the way, too.
It is kind of weird, huh?
I loved 20 on him. I thought that was a dope number.
Yeah, I thought that was a good number.
Yeah, 7 just looks weird on Bullard, dude.
Yeah, you think
we're gonna have to get used to it, I guess, right?
I don't like it.
Sturdivant looks good catching this ball, though. Look at this dude right here. That's a nice cut. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at it earlier, like, hey, the rook right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, but check this out. Look at how different Marshawn Lloyd moves. He's looking like Barry Sanders here, and then like Brooks comes in, and he's just all like clunk.
Yeah, not nearly as fast.
It's like your uncle's out there playing running back.
Brooks is there as a tiny O lineman in the backfield. That's what he does.
That's why I walk into my truck in the morning.
He's an H-back. He might as well be a tight end at this point, right?
Going to work in the morning.
The lunch.
Oh no, it's no hating on Brooks, but like, yeah, Lloyd's just built different. He should be because he's got 2 years of rest, so now he can.
Some people said he was the best running back in his class,
and that's the thing. Like sometimes injuries happen, then they just stop. So we hopefully.
Yeah,
he's got all of them. You know what I mean?
Let's hope so.
Some of his injuries too were like appendicitis and stuff that were just like totally random, you know. So it's like,
it's not
even
an injury. That's an illness.
Yeah, I know.
So like he's injured. He's got a broken rib.
Look at this. West Hyde's posting a bunch of stuff with Hargrave. There's Hargrave out there.
Hargrave
working. Look at this. A big boy.
I look at the Quick Trip hotspot right there, but I'll tell you what. There's only one mac and cheese left. I'm getting that some baby. Shuffle the old lady, get her out of the way, and get right to it. You know what I mean?
Get right to it.
Well, congratulations, Matt, for winning the Quick Trip Packers quiz of the day.
There we go.
Mac and cheese,
We're not
baby.
sponsored by them, but you are. So we'll just give them some shout outs, you know?
You should be. You know what I mean? this is a good show.
Well,
one
you're
day.
on it, so it's it's pretty
Yeah,
good.
you made it good.
You did leave the Bears fan out. That makes it a little bit better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We invited him. I even put Bears
I'm
questions
sure
in
he's
the
good. I'm
quiz.
sure he's good people right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's
that's the
good
thing. Like with Bears fans, like I've been doing this for a long time, since about 2015 when I started kind of talking trash about the Bears. And like when I first started talking trash about the Bears, I would do the Bears Still Suck song, and I would dance around the Lambeau Field parking lot doing all this stupid stuff. And Bears fans, like I was on Bears podcast, like they would joke around with me, like they kind of got the humor of it. I love the rivalry. I'm not over here like talking trash. I don't do low hanging fruit. I don't talk about Caleb Williams and like all the stuff everyone else talks about when they're not talking about football. You know what I mean?
Right. There's no need for that.
I don't go for personal attacks. We're just talking football. I say the Bears still suck. It's all in fun. But like this last offseason, the Bears fans went like insane. Like they're so sensitive. They're so extra. I've gotten death threats. Like they're all crazy about it. And like I don't say anything crazy.
Yeah,
I know, you're
like,
good.
The Bears still suck. You know, we have fun. Like, you know, we joke around, but Bears fans are nuts.
Yeah, well,
it's
it's because
and not all of them. A lot of good people are Bears fans.
no, there's a lot of good Bears fans out there, but
In
a
real
lot
life.
of the casuals came out last year because they beat us twice.
Yeah.
And now they're talking big, but those are the ones that kept their mouth shut for the last 20 years. So like I just don't even listen to them.
Yeah, because like I have them
bother.
come at me like hardcore. But like
Yeah.
I know real Bears fans. Like and then
Yeah.
they know me. And like I said, I've been on Bears podcasts. I'm not like I don't go out of my way to like I'm not a dick. You know what I mean? I don't go after Bears fans and like try to be like all hardcore. Like yeah, I make my jokes or whatever, but like I'm not like extra with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have fun. I love the rivalry. The greatest rivalry I think in sports. And I know I'm not like a big baseball guy, so I'm not gonna argue with the Red Sox and Yankee fans, but
Right.
but like definitely in the NFL, I think it's the greatest rivalry. I know it wasn't a great rivalry like the last 2 decades because the Packers were dominating, but I still feel like it's the greatest rivalry because I'm a history dude.
Yeah.
I love the history of the Packers Bears. I don't think the Bears should leave Chicago. I think that's blasphemy.
Yeah, I really hope they stay
Yeah,
too.
figure
I don't
that out.
want them in Indiana. I mean,
And if they are in Indiana, they should not be allowed to be Chicago Bears.
I agree. They should be
fully
the
believe
Indiana
it.
Bears.
And everyone's like, well, what about New York, New Jersey, whatever? I don't care about New York and New Jersey because everyone outside of New York, New Jersey sees that all as the same thing. No one,
Yeah,
it's all the same thing for outside.
it is.
You know what I mean?
And there's no room to build in Manhattan.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
and-
Like take
yeah.
a chunk out of the
They could have
chunk out of
built
the
in
park?
Queens also. They could have built on, they could have built on Long Island, but like, yeah, it's for committing and or for the commute and stuff. Like I get it. But like there's plenty of space to build in Chicago. They've got Arlington Park. The Bears just want the city to build the infrastructure for them. And the city's like, no, go F off. Like build it yourself.
But I heard
Or-
a lot of
or,
Bears fans talk about like the city, like they want they keep kind of going back to the Bears like a time machine, like a money machine.
Yeah. They
So,
offered to
I
do
kinda
all these
feel-
updates to the stadium. No, the Bears want what we have, which is like own this area, have all these shops, all this extra revenue. They want the extra. They want the extra
Yeah, yeah,
revenue,
yeah.
and they want to pay less taxes, right? And so, yeah, I mean, I get what they're doing, but you shouldn't be going to Indiana. That's just not cool.
Oh,
man.
absolutely
That's
not.
just
And if
cool.
you do, you should be called the Indiana Bears.
Yeah, because your taxes are going to Indiana,
Yeah,
right?
that's the thing,
And-
like, if you're in the state, like you can't be like in a different state because first of all the taxes are going there. They're taking care of you. They're like doing the traffic. They're dealing with all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't be giving credit to another state.
Not to mention, think about this, and this is something that someone who lived in Chicago brought up to me. It's like if all these fans travel to the Bears game, they're still using Illinois roads to get through to where they're going to go to Indiana.
Yeah.
And Indiana's getting, what's the state getting from that? The state's going to repair and fix and do all these things. So
Yeah.
the state's like, oh, we're going to put up tolls. People get mad. And it's like, dude, I get it. It's like, this is why you cannot have a football team in a different state than the city that they're based in. You just can't do it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
And the fact that the Bears are one of the most important franchises in the NFL.
Yeah.
You top 5, I think.
Yeah, and the to your point, the tri-state area where the Giants and the Jets play, you're absolutely right. It's like one giant metropolis, dude. It's not like they're.
I've been to the Giants, and it's beautiful. Like taking a train there, you can kind of see like the old vibe. Like there's the old stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I was blacked out. I got hammered that day. You know what I mean? Taking a train, in New York, like while you're drunk, like during the daytime, is a wild thing. But yeah, but I think it's definitely different. Like I feel like if you're like even like the Vikings, if they, no matter the team outside of New York, I think if you're given credit to that state, like everyone has to travel on the hotels, everything that's happening in that state. I feel like you should be called that state.
Yeah,
you should have to claim it.
Let's hope it doesn't happen, dude. Let's really hope.
Oh yeah, I for sure hope it doesn't happen. I think it's a slap in the face to Bears fans who supported all these years. I think Chicago, the government, I'm not a big whatever. I don't know Chicago politics and all that, and a lot of people are telling me about it. But they need to figure it out. Whatever it is,
they need to figure it out.
Figure it out, because the Bears are one of the top teams, top franchises in the NFL, as far as like history and like all the things. Like how many teams have a team, like a name? I like the song though.
Yeah.
I can't talk good about the Bears when you're playing the song. No, but like how many teams, like the 85 Bears?
Yeah.
How many teams have a team where they call that? Like we don't have like the 66 Packers, whatever. We have
the 2010 Packers. I don't know, 96
like,
Packers.
like,
not really though.
Packers were number one in offense and defense.
Like I don't do this on my show. I will not rise up Bears on my show because Bears fans follow me and they watch, and I can't have them get them out, getting all excited and being happy and whatnot. But I respect the Bears fans. I respect the franchise. I respect the rivalry.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the Bears, they suck. You know what I mean?
They do. And I think that's a good place to end it, guys. Thank you.
All right, let's wrap it up. All right, here we go. I've been on here 2 hours.
2 hours, Matt.
2
thank you
hours,
so much, man. You're awesome.
Anybody who's ever talked to Doug Height for 2 hours, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you gotta drink a lot of beer.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anybody, thanks for watching so much. Matt, thanks for coming on the show. Hype, thanks for getting this set up. And yeah, to wrap it up, the Bears still suck.
There you go.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you having me, dude.
Thanks, Ed.